on, everybody? I'm John Welsh, and I'm the gentleman.
And I'm Alex Deppard, and I am the scholar. And this is Warhammer Night, buddy. Look at this. This is our host, our guest for the show, Mr. Kelly Jenkins.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
He's the guy.
I am that guy.
It's like if you think I want to go somewhere and I want to make sure that I'm not the most obnoxious looking person there, you bring Kelly.
Yep.
Because Kelly will take that bullet for you and be like, I will be the most obnoxious looking guy there. And then you're like, I appreciate that. That's like way off my shoulders.
I resemble that remark.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I'm not going to lie. So,
it is what it is.
If you notice, we've got some stuff on the table. We have not changed the show, but in the cigar groups, people like to ask about, what are your other hobbies besides smoking cigars? Mm-hmm. And people put about working on cars or whatever. And I was like, dude, I'm going to show this off. And so I take some pictures from games that we have, and I put them on the chats, and people just thought, what is that? That is so cool looking. So, you know what, fellas? This is for you. I'm bringing my other hobby to you guys, and we're going to talk all about it. Kelly here plays with me, and
I tried.
Phrasing, though.
Right?
Was that phrasing?
Phrasing?
Yeah. We're not doing phrasing. Do you not know that?
No.
Let
me tell you. You know why I'm wearing these glasses? Because that's how hungover I am right now, and it's super bright.
Yeah, it's almost like you were up late last night, drinking and watching the UFC match, and then, playing cards and drinking, like, all the bullet. I mean, that's just from context.
This is the sacrifice we go for our audience.
Right?
Definitely.
Even though we're absolutely schnockered.
Yes.
The things you have to do for your country.
And your audience.
Right.
It was weird because even though you're older than me, when you came in here, I kind of felt like I was your dad. Because you couldn't look at me in the eye, you had your glasses on, your cap was put on low, and I was like, where have you been? And it's just like, oh man, I don't want to.
What sorry,
did you do? Man. I'm just like. And then I watch him try to undo our gear, and he gets stuck trying to screw this one thing for like 45 minutes. It's like, I can't do this. And I'm like, buddy, I don't have a replacement tech guy, so if you can't do this, we're going to have a very crappy show on my phone.
No, it's definitely something you can overcome. You just have to take another drink.
But before we get too far into the chit-chat, we have some housekeeping we have to do.
Yes, we do.
If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, strike the bell for notifications, leave a comment, share, like the video. Just engage with us, even if it's to give us very weird comments that we tend to get. I don't know if it's a bot
for this video, you have to say, how awesome this shirt is, right?
No.
Yeah. It's like Scarface meets.
Apparently, if the audience is interested, we can post the link to the
Kelly, you sell
the
these
Proud
shirts?
Boys.
The Proud Boys. No.
Also, we have to remind everybody of our first live show. Yes. At 1:30 in the PM. We have a panel with us. It's going to be my good friend Jason Moe and Darren Harris, who is just the funniest guy from Arkansas you'll ever meet. We laugh and laugh.
That's not a terribly high bar. I mean,
from Arkansas.
Yeah, from Arkansas.
But he's actually quite amusing. He is. And then the lovely lady of the leaf, Lindsay Stanford, will be here. And she's been agonizing over what outfit she's going to wear ever since I booked her for the show. She's like, oh my God, what am I going to wear?
Only guest on the show to ever need multiple costume changes, right?
It's like you're on a cigar show. If you show some skin, it don't matter. Yeah. Everybody's going to be like, wonderful.
That's great.
On those cigar chats where people just post pictures of their women, holding cigars in their boobs. It's a lot of guys are like, man, you have no restraint. All right. Like,
I confirm.
I personally would not want to put that out there for the world to see because, she's nasty. But
right.
Everybody likes a good person.
And we also have to thank our official sponsor of the show, Bailey's Cigar Room in Carencroft Veterans. It's your one-stop shop for all your tobacco-related products except cigarettes. Why?
They're disgusting.
Because they're disgusting. That's right. We're once again shooting in Bailey's. It's our second home now.
Yeah, it is.
And just like our first home, we're getting bitched at.
Yeah. That's true.
But it's all good. That's how you know they love you.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to get under the skin a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So
But, hey, we rep them everywhere we go. There's a cigar night every Thursday, and I wear my T-shirt proudly.
that's right. That's right. We got to show the colors, and then
Yep.
we have to promote our affiliate online cigar magazine, the Not Generally Cigar Smokers Club. Very cool. With link in the description. Go check them out. There's new content released all the time.
Yep.
And it'll up your bougie game. You know,
Yep.
if
Yes,
you
it will.
if you think that you're the moderate level of cigar bougie, no, you're not. This site will tell you why.
And you can believe me when I tell you that Alex is the purveyor of bougie, the zenith of bougie, if you will, sometimes.
The zenith of bougie.
You don't get a stash like Murray without being all the bougie.
No, he bristles
I
up
would-
when he's threatened.
That's right. That's right. So the porcupine self-defense.
Real quick, I have to say that this week is going to be an awesome week because we also have another promo code for our audience.
That's right. That's right.
Gotta put that up there.
The word of the day is Newman.
Newman.
Because for the last 2 weeks, well, this week and last week, we have been featuring cigars by JC Newman.
Yes, we
and the one we have for today, nice transition, buddy, is the Maximus. The Maximus is not a cigar for the faint of heart.
No, it's not.
It's not ironically named the Maximus because you feel like a Roman gladiator.
Does that mean,
If you
does that
don't
mean I'm in
have-
trouble?
Oh, it's a good
If
one.
you don't have hair on your chest or a yellow shirt with guns on it,
Okay, I'm
it's
straight.
not for you.
It
Good,
really isn't
good,
for you.
good
like,
to go.
Like when you smoke this, you're like, how easily would I sell my life? Pretty easy. And then boom, that's it.
Yeah,
You're
it
in.
increases your testosterone by
Oh.
at least 10%.
So this is going to be
Right,
a treat.
yeah, it's one of those.
Because
One of
Kelly
those.
here has not had a Maximus.
I have not.
So
It
take
is-
a Maximus, sir.
It is a very, very.
So to do a little pre-light ritual.
It's like smelling heaven.
very rich.
When I die, this is what heaven's going to smell like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go, sir.
Oh, Kelly. You're in for a treat, buddy.
So
Okay.
I picked good, is what
Yeah.
you're telling me.
Yes.
So on the dry draw,
There you go, my brother.
rich cedar, very rich cedar. A little bit of sawdust. It's nice. Not really sweet. All right, let's fire this bad boy up. I really can't believe I'm about to smoke this thing because I had like 5
You like
cigars
the
last
raisin?
night.
Did you? Are you picking up that raisin?
Oh man, that Maximus first pull. Ha!
The
roadie.
You getting that raisin? I'm getting oaky raisin.
I didn't get a lot of raisin, no. Oh my god.
How are you not tasting
This
that?
is like burnt pretzel.
There it is.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh, it's so
Yep,
lovely.
right there.
Yeah, the burnt. Yeah, I mean, like you'll. Like I got it.
The retrohale. Oh, it's intense. It's beastly. It's the Maximus.
It's the Maximus.
The Maximus.
This is definitely in my top 3.
Okay, also, we have to continue on. If you notice, each one of us has a card in front of them. Inside said card is a word. What word? The mystery word, because we are playing the mystery drinking game yet again. Mostly because I really want to hurt John. I'm just going to punish him. And John didn't realize that when he showed his card to
Instead
the
of hair
camera.
of the dog.
It came on the screen. We could all see it.
Yeah, it's so small you can't see it.
I'm not, I don't have my glasses on. You got me. Cheeky bastard.
Instead of hair off the dog, we're going full poodle.
It's curly and stubbly.
So after we give our initial impressions, we'll talk about what led us here last night. And then we'll get into all this stuff.
Tomfoolery.
Oh, last night.
Chicanery.
It was a fun night. It was a good night.
Let me tell you something. The Maximus will never let you down. If you are a real cigar smoker, this is like the creme de la creme.
Whoa. It's like I'm just getting into my first third and
It's an absolutely fantastic pull.
Yeah, it's
oh man. It's expertly put together. Like there's nothing.
now
Nothing in the
you know
States.
you know more of the other cigar bars around here. Can you only get this here, and where else could you get this cigar? And what's the price point on this thing?
Okay, so this stick is like $28.
Okay.
All right, so it's high end. You know, the only cigar that is more expensive in this shop is the Churchill Padron 1926.
I'll be taking one of those home tomorrow.
That's like
Tonight. Tonight.
That's
for
like
tomorrow. For tomorrow.
$30. So I mean, this is almost the high end, and so it's gonna have all those characteristics where it's like the wrap, perfect. You know, it's got beautiful veinage. It's not like sticks veins where it's like, okay, that's a bad leaf. They're really, really fine, but they're very defined. And then the ash, very tight. The pull, flawless. And then it produces a whole lot of smoke, but it's heavy. It is heavy.
So, of all the cigar shops around here, is Bailey's the only one carrying it, or?
No, you can find it at a couple other places. I think Cigar Merchant.
I'm gonna look into that for the audience because Bailey's is the number one. I mean, plus with our promo code, you're gonna save money. So,
well,
but
you know,
need to smoke the cigar.
If you're 10% off of 20, that's substantial. You know,
yeah,
right.
But I'm serious. If you've never had one of these, you have to try it. Like you can't die without tasting the cigar.
So
well, I mean, you could say the same thing about like any sort of Cubans, like the Monte Cristo.
So, guys, you were talking about what you were doing last night.
Oh, right.
I don't want to talk about it.
So
I don't want to talk about it.
I got a text from John that it was actually a Facebook message, and this shows you know how little attention I paid to Facebook, right?
That's why I called you from it.
right.
I was like, he's got to be linked, right?
Right. No, he called me he sent me a text at like 6. And I didn't see that. And then there was another one at 8. And then he called.
I was also doing the same thing to Alex. Like, give me Kelly's number. I don't have it.
Right.
Give me Kelly's number. And then, like, he doesn't. You back.
I don't know why we've never. I mean, we've known each other.
We were having fun, but he was having more fun than us.
Right. Now, we've known each other for years. I guess we just never, like, needed to really call each other because.
Yeah, because we're always just at the same
out
places.
There. Right. Yeah, you don't need it. So, you know, he's like, hey, UFC night at my house, you know, come on out. We got a couple more people coming over. Let's see what's happening, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as I get there, they're like, hey, we're just about to finish off this bottle of Fireball. Now, Fireball isn't a real whiskey. I'm not going to.
No, it's not. It's fun.
It's candy.
You're getting you in the mood.
It's candy.
Yeah.
Right? And then we made it to the bourbon, though. We had some good bullet.
And then the bullet just went away quickly.
Bullet disappeared.
Was it a silver bullet? Where did it disappear?
Yeah, it was.
I know it went in my bag.
So you guys drank a lot. I get it. I get it.
We were screaming a lot.
There was a lot of screaming.
Was there pillow biting too?
No, we're not allowed to say why we were.
From John, but he's not going to admit to it publicly.
Poor fella.
Right.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I have some of it on video if you want to see later.
Oh, you did get a video?
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
I was screaming at the TV's obscenities.
Well, my night was interesting, to say the least. We went to a friend's house for a birthday party, and it was like 4 couples, and we're all pretty good friends. And so we played this game called Do or Drink, where it's a series of cards. You take turns pulling them, and it either it gives you something ridiculous to do, or how many drinks you have to do.
How ridiculous? I want this game.
Ridiculous is on a scale.
Yeah, like
ridiculous is on a scale.
Shitting on the floor, ridiculous, or there's like walking.
There was a whole slew of them about picking someone to perform a sexual position with you. And
it's definitely a couples game.
Right.
There
was sausage.
There was a spin the bottle makeout card.
That's all right.
And then there was a number of cards that require taking clothes off.
My kind of game. Let's get this
right.
And then
couples night.
There were
couples best played with strangers.
So there were cards that featured having to bear certain pieces of flesh. So it was a lot of fun, and I can't really go into too much detail because I don't want to get us taken off of YouTube.
Yeah.
But let's just say at one point in the game I was forced to give a gynecological exam.
Oh, I mean,
Well, hey.
yeah, right. Can't complain about that.
Good Lord.
As long as you say, I'm no
What's the name of
expert,
this
but I'll
game
take
again?
a look.
Where can you pick it up?
Do or drink. Fun little game. Everybody was like, we have to play this again. I'm like, I'm sure you perverts do. Oh my God.
Oh, so everyone else was the perverted ones?
Yeah, I just pretended to.
Oh, you pretended?
Dude.
Played along?
Murray made him do it.
Murray is a great cover. It's just like whatever role you want to play, Murray helps you make it happen.
Right.
You know?
When in Rome.
Yep.
If you want to look like a narc in Rome, Murray's your guy.
Yeah.
For sure.
You're definitely taking that thing off before we go to Cuba.
Well,
They're all be like, oh, look, the CIA's here.
For real.
Look at the guy in the aviators. Come on, guy.
I
hear it
look,
now.
man, it's out of my hands at this point. I believe
We know it's out of your
if I
hands,
let him
it's on
stay
your
on my
upper
face
lip.
any longer, he'll get his own social security number, and then I won't be able to take him off. He's gonna get rights.
So my question though is, where's the rest of it? Like, I just recently had to shave mine, but it's been less than 24 hours, and
Listen, the good Lord didn't see fit to bless me with the full beard.
yeah,
Okay, it's all in the stash.
it's all in the
It's all
stash.
in the stash. It's all like it's like Saskatchewan right here, Albany, New York right here. That's the density we're talking about.
So did you guys get inebriated last night or what? I mean, to play that kind of game, you got to like...
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like our festival party for Festival International, and so we had a gallon of half and half from Legends, and then there was a gallon of sangria, and then there were pitchers of margaritas, and then a handle of Bullet, and a bunch of beers, and so yeah.
And for those of the audience that aren't from Lafayette, Louisiana, Festival International is normally this festival that happens every year, and bands come from around the world, and it's kind of like a big social entertainment.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Multiple
amazing.
stage.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
it brings hundreds of thousands of people to Lafayette
it
every year
does.
for it.
And, some amazing bands have played. I mean, a couple years ago, Ziggy Marley and the Wailers.
Yeah,
even
that was
played.
Oh yeah,
That
they
was
get some big
amazing.
names over here.
Dude,
Yeah.
Gary Clark Jr.'s played
And
it
it's
before.
completely free.
Mark Broussard's on there
That's
all
right.
the time.
It's completely free.
It's
Yeah,
that
that's
was
another
the
thing.
first time I ever saw Johnny's little smoking section was at festivals on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm getting a cigar there right now.
But they're doing everything virtually this year because of COVID, of course. And yeah, it's
Right.
It's normally a huge festival. It might be leaving Lafayette to go to Youngsville, from what I heard.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow! So one of my favorite parts about the drinking game that we were playing is there was one fella. He was the youngest guy there, probably like I don't know, 27, 28, and you could tell he was very conservative, and he was not prepared to be around a bunch of
People like you.
people like me, right? People very very free spirited.
Oh,
that's a good PC way to
Is
say.
that the word you're using? Is that the word you're using now?
Yes,
Is that
yes.
what we're calling
free
it?
spirited? Yes.
Right.
So, I'm so free spirited. Jonathan Edwards could stream me over from the other side. So this guy was really uncomfortable around like the aggressiveness of the women in this game because like whatever the card said to do, they were about it. They were doing it. And he was just like, well, so one card was that he had to squeeze a friend of ours nipples, and she like takes her boobs out, and he's like, you swear he was a vampire, and they just put a cross in his face because he was like, I don't want to look. It's like her husband was sitting right there.
Right.
He's like, I'm not looking at your wife's tits. I'm not looking at your wife's tits. And she's like, come on, you got to excuse me. He's like, I'm not touching. See, I'm not touching. And we're all laughing. It's like, dude, you know, if he was the kind of guy to want to punch you for that, he wouldn't be playing this game. You know,
Dude, well,
Right.
you know, it is 2021, man. There's some weirdo people out there like, we're going to play a game. Well, how could you do such a thing? You know what I mean?
it
Like,
was hysterical because he's like, I'm not doing it. And the husband's like, just touch him. And he's like, no, this is weird. This is against God.
it's against God.
It's against God.
No, actually, it's all about
And
God.
so like then it was
It
then
will,
then
it will
was
help you see God.
Yes.
when it was his turn, he pulled a card that said he had to do whatever the group told him to do. And so I like immediately was like, you have to go and give a breast exam to everybody here and look him in the eye
That's
when you do it.
hilarious.
And he
That's
was
beautiful.
like, are you fucking serious? I was like, yes. He was like, I'm not touching these dudes' wives' boobs. I'm not.
Damn, dude.
And at the end, he sat down and he was like, I feel really weird. I touched that guy's boobs. I touched his wife's boobs too. Oh my God. And it was like, dude.
It's beautiful.
Dude, have a drink, man.
Could you imagine if one of the girls said that? Oh, you got to check them all for prostate cancer.
For prostate cancer? Whoa, no.
Hey,
No.
What, you can grab on a woman's boobs, you can't get your hands dirty.
It's a very, very, very odd trick of God that he put the male G-spot inside the rectum.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yep. Things I never thought I would say today, walking in here for 1,000 Alex.
I bet Gabriel asked God, like, hey, where'd you put the G-spot? And God was like, rectum. And Gabriel's like, rectum, damn near killed him.
Right, yeah.
How long were you waiting to tell that one?
Ever since he said rectum, I was like, that's where I'm going. I'm going in the rectum. Let's do it. So let's get to the topic of the day. This is
the
Warhammer.
big elephant in the room.
Right? The big resin elephant in the room. So what we have set up for you guys is a little diorama of some choice models to kind of show you the different looks and different scales. We even have some stuff behind Kelly's Boogaloo head. And so I thought we'd give a little discussion. Why don't you introduce the topic, Senor Jenkins?
I mean, this is Warhammer. It is a game. It's kind of like chess, but dialed up by about 1,000-fold. The chess pieces individually get rocket launchers and swords made out of chainsaws. It's incredibly nerdy, but it's something I actually picked up in the army, if you believe it. The books are very popular. It's a futuristic military setting. And the books were very, very popular in certain units that I was in. And started picking it up, got really into the lore, the storyline of everything. And, eventually I got home and I decided to start, trying the game out, picking it up, started painting, started putting everything together, and here I am now.
Here you are now.
I mean, some of these pieces are so elaborate. It's the detail that's put into these things is amazing.
What is great about it is that, guys, this is a hobby that kind of hits all the notes because it is a game and it's social, but it's also a crafting hobby where you have to model things. You have to put them together, which can take a lot of work, and then you paint them. And so, like, there's the artistic hobby, there's the craftsman hobby, there's the nerdy kind of like geek social hobby, and then there's the logic hobby because the game is based on numbers, and so while it does have some randomness to it, you roll enough dice over the course of a game, and those average out, so you can actually put a lot of tactical depth, heuristic thinking, quantitative analysis. Was a game that was
Speaking of tactical depth, it is one of the most tactically proficient games that I have ever played. You have your infantry, you have your artillery, you have your air corps. And as far as like battle planning and maneuvers,
that's what
all
I was
of those things matter.
About to say. This to me, because I'm military too, like this made me think of an operations order and how you're going to flow through your movement.
Right.
But this is going over exactly like the A, B, and C. Like what could happen here? So you got to outthink your opponent.
Exactly. Flanking maneuvers, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Feints.
But you have to be flexible because you don't know what your opponent's going to do.
Exactly.
And so when you're engaging somebody, you have what you want to do, but you have to kind of make sure you limit his options based on how you deploy, based on how you move, based on how you
That's
control.
exactly how battle flow works.
Exactly, which is why I was never military, but I was a chess geek, and I'm autistic, so it was just kind of like derp. Let me rock out on some geekery. But the being able to outthink opponents and see everything and quantify it and then be like, this is the best decision here. This is the thing I'm most afraid of, so I got to neutralize that. It's interesting listening to what the military guys find attractive about it because it's like they're approaching from a different direction. But it's the same, but ultimately it's the same thing because what they love about the military is what I love about chess. Right. And so they just kind of overlap, and I always find it very fascinating.
Different formula, same end result.
Yes, standing on a pile of corpses.
Right.
And that's another thing that makes it very appealing to older guys is the graphic violence. The weapons that they do, they describe them in the stories, and there's a lot of eviscerations, and it's just, and they call it the grim dark for good reason. But the story itself is very compelling. It's basically a futuristic civil war after humanity has conquered the stars. There was some warp activity, which is what they would call the immaterium, or like the spirit world, and it.
What was that one video you showed me that time? Like, this is the closest thing to
Astartes?
You were like, this is the closest thing to a visual representation of what the books are about.
I think.
It's probably Astartes.
Yeah,
those
probably
little
Astartes.
little short
That
videos.
it was
amazing,
so
right?
awesome.
Yeah.
Like that, I was like, man, that's just.
Now
that's
you're
it.
talking about the books. The books themselves are really well written as well, and they
Yeah,
have
it was
some
British
like,
people came up with this like crazy. Yeah,
absolutely.
Back in the mid '80s.
And a lot of the books are written by incredibly famous people. Like one of the guys
Yeah.
who worked
That's
on
what-
some
that's
of
what
these
Alex was saying.
novels wrote some of the films for the Avengers, right? And a lot of the MCU
Yep.
like writers also write these books.
the attention to detail is amazing.
It really is. It's
just- it just-
absolutely shocking how everything is interlinked. And you're talking about a book series that's like 240 some odd novels strong in some
Yes,
places.
it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
And everything recurses onto itself. Everything is interlinked. And just seeing all of these authors paint this tapestry, not even write, but paint this tapestry and have everything
So let me
linked.
lay out the basic story to the public who probably hasn't really heard of this. So after the stars were conquered, basically the planets, the colonies all got separated. They lost contact with each other. And so this guy, they call him the Emperor, was born, and he was like, I'm going to unify humanity again. And so he basically conquers Earth and makes it a one world government. He's a very, even though he's like the hero, he's kind of a shithead. He's kind of messed up. Anyway, he conquers the Earth, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to go and reunite all the colonies and stars. And so he builds this superhuman army, and they're called the Space Marines. And so each one is like a human that's had all these surgeries and extra organs added to them to give them this almost immortal status. And so they're bigger, faster, stronger, that kind of thing. Well, he wanted to make generals to lead his legions of these space marines, so he makes what's called the Primarchs, which are his like sons. And the book uses the Primarchs to kind of tell morality plays with the types of characters that humans have. So each Primarch kind of manifests a different trait. And so it's a really interesting character study. But anyway, he makes 20 of them to go lead the 20 legions. 2 of them disappear and they're stricken from the record, so like we don't know anything about them. They just kind of hint things. So you have 18 left. They go and conquer all the stars, and then at the end, when they're finished the big battle, the Emperor's like, right, I'm bugging out, I'm gonna go back to Earth, and I'm gonna nominate Horus as the war master, the guy who's gonna basically continue the campaign in my name, and then you guys just chill. And shortly thereafter, through interesting turns of events, Horus turns against the Emperor, and immediately he's able to get some of his brother Primarchs to join his side. So at the end of the setup, you basically have half of the legions have turned against the Emperor, the other half have stayed loyal, and then it's the story of their war. So it's called the Horus Heresy, and it covers probably like 5 years actually from start to finish, but there's so many levels to it because the way he tries to neutralize the other legions so that he has a clear path to Earth is really fascinating, very, very deep, and the game plays that out. So you have your Primarch guys who are bigger models, and they have really awesome rules, and then you have movement, you use tape measures, you measure range, motion, line of sight, all that stuff, and then you roll dice for anything that's conditional, and there's movement, shooting, assault, and then that's the end of the turn. You alternate back and forth. Everything has depth tactically, where you set up, where you move, what you shoot at,
How far you can move.
how far you can move, how far
Yeah.
should you move, like
Yep.
should you move and then shoot them. It's a lot of ultimately it's based on like a paper rock scissors format as far as like how units are just better, but like the way you set up, if you can outthink your opponent, you can kind of beat him before the game starts because you can anticipate, well, this is how he's going to want to play, so I'm going to play this way, which would be a foil to his style. And it's a really easy way to kind of weed the sheep out of the group. Kelly will tell you, he's been playing with us for
a few years now.
and
years.
he's already seen a lot of success in the group. And normally it takes a while for people to really get their legs under them, but Kelly did well.
Oh, by the way, you said my word at least twice. No, that was one. There you go. There you go.
Oh, this is backfiring gloriously. So, if you're wondering why I have extra disdain on my face today, we are drinking Maker's Mark cask strength. So this is quite a bit more potent.
Yes.
Oh my God. Ooh. You
Into
gonna pass
the
those
eye.
glasses over here, dude. Oh my goodness.
These are my saving grace from that light above us.
Didn't you pick Maker's Mark on purpose?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I did. But I'm never the one who says the word. It's always John. Ugh. Holy smokes.
Well, I'm going to tell you, being introduced to this after, after my military career and stuff like that, I love watching it, but I do not even know half of what I should know to try and play it. I tried to play it a couple times, like they set up battles for me. I failed miserably because they can outthink you. You have to know every Primarch. You need to know every detail about what your army can do and what their army can do. If not, you're going to get lost. And it's one of those things where it's just like, it is what it is.
That also happens when you're Cav instead of, infantry.
Get out of here, Cap. We're so forward of everybody. Come on.
But it's a lot like chess, basically, in that, there are levels of engaging and moving the pieces. And so if you have a chess player who thinks that, I just know how all the pieces can move, and so that's playing. It's like, no, that's not playing. What's playing is being like, all right, I'm going to try to force my opponent to do this, and when he ends up in this spot, that's where I'm going to spring my trap.
Exactly.
And
Right.
That's where a lot of players get stuck, and they never really transcend into that elite level because they don't know how to manage a game that way. They end up being too reactionary, or they don't think that many steps ahead. I was playing with a guy, and he was making a move to shoot at something, and I figured out that probability of what he was trying to do, and I was like, dude, it's ridiculously low probability. And I said, because he had several options of what he could have done with that piece, and I said, you really want to do that? This is a buddy of mine, and his rationale was, taking a shot. Like, the Hail Mary was a viable option for him. And I was like, dude, you're betting against yourself, because the odds of that working out are so small that you've conceded a move. And this is a race. Chess is like a race to the checkmate. And if you blow moves doing stupid things, like, a good player is going to make you pay, and you're never gonna recover. But that's why, you end up with such a diversity of like player strengths. You have a bunch of guys who just like don't get it, and then you have the guys who like kind of do get it, and then there are the guys who like eventually they'll get it, but it takes a while.
Yeah, I think as long as you spend enough time on the books and you read, and then you learn your opponent's weaknesses, and then they set up, these stories beforehand, what you can bring, what you can't bring, right? Am I
right?
Okay. And then from there, you really need to know them, because if you're like, okay, I know this is a 7, this is a 6, like the strengths, and then you can be like, no, I'm going to make sure that has to go out first before I can get to this, and then you set your play up from there.
Right, and there's a little bit more layers to that even as well. The game variant that Alex and I play most of the time, it's based during the events of the Horus Heresy, so you're dealing with primarily the legions, because there's like alien factions, there's the demon faction, which I have some out here today. The legions, every single one of them has their own flavor, their very unique thing that they bring. The one I like is called the Alpha Legion, and they basically play out like the CIA from the 1950s. Like, left hand doesn't know what the right hand's doing. It's a lot of misdirection. It's a lot of
That's a
feints.
military thing. Absolutely. They don't ever let us know what their main thing is.
Well, the thing is, if you practice chaos all the time, then, when chaos happens, you're just going to be fitting right.
You're like, what? This is normal. What are you doing?
Right. And if we don't know what we're doing, they can't know what we're doing either.
That sounds great. I think you should take 2 drinks. You should take 1.
Okay. Does not bother me. Hair the dog.
All right. Uno.
That burns a little bit.
It's got a sting to it. A little bit.
Hello.
All right, so fellas, we should be rounding out the first serve. What do you think so far, Mr. Jenkins? This is his first Maximus ever.
It's a very good stick. Very good stick. You really get like that pine. Not pine. Wrong wood. Cedar.
Yeah.
Cedar.
For me, it's like a mocha, chocolatey, leather goodness. There's
you definitely get the chocolate and the leather in there too.
It's a mixture of heaven and hell.
It's really high quality. It's not quite like Cuban, but it's up there. It's definitely up there.
Oh, well, come on. Cuban's its own.
Like if you were to make a mocha with dark chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's a really good way.
That's what this would taste like. It's sublime. But it's like the kind of cigar that would actually pair well with espresso.
Yeah,
but it's amazing with bourbon.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a feeling we were going to smoke something good, so I wanted to get us some good whiskey.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I need a pat on the back.
You did a good job burning us up greatly.
Did a great job.
Thanks
I'm glad
for
I didn't follow through with my threat to pick Cuba Cubas for today. That could have been disastrous.
That would have been the world's fastest guest shift.
So, anybody else want to come in here?
Like, no, there is no show tonight. What's up with all the cameras? It's like, we're just doing some porn. That's all we're doing. No show here.
Yeah,
so
pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Although I couldn't have said that, but that surely he'd have been like, I can do that too. That's fine.
You don't see my gun?
Did someone call for a really hairy plumber?
That's disgusting.
I'm here to lay some pipe.
We have women who watch the show, Kelly. Not many, but a couple. All
Well,
right.
I mean, I'm just talking. I mean, I have a hobby of
Speaking
fitting,
of which,
right?
our last guest
Know my way around a
had a
wrench.
shout out. They want her to come back on. Did you read the comments?
No, I have not.
Yeah, so in the comments, we were asked to bring Farrah back on. So I'm going to have to do it for the live show.
Oh yeah,
Damn.
hell yeah!
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
I
awesome.
hope I'm bestowed the same honor. But...
Well, I mean,
We're
if
going to have
anybody...
to see what the
right. It all depends on what they say, right?
If we want to have Kelly back on the show, just shout out hashtag get kicked off YouTube.
And also we're trying to expand the 83-minute limit for Spotify to put us on there. You got to make phone calls. And you got to call people, and they go like, "Well, we need to see more of what your content's about." I was like, "Well, there's 17 versions of it. You can go see them."
Right.
So
Right.
as soon as we get the nod,
That's awesome.
Well, they're not.
Because I can't guarantee the show will be less than 83 minutes. So I'm not gonna pick a nub just to make sure that we finish the show on time.
you're right.
You know, it's got the cigar cannot be inhibited by
Right.
any
Yeah.
means. Not by
So
length,
it works
not
like
by
this.
cost.
You have two different versions. You have the video, and then the podcast where it's strictly just audio. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
the cool thing about it is you can switch between the two. Like you can be like, oh, we'll put the video on there too and keep listening. You know what I mean? So if you're sitting there, if you're driving a car, just put the audio on. That's pretty cool.
All right, one thing, Kelly, that we have not expressed to the viewers about the game is the community aspect. Why don't you tell,
Absolutely.
Why don't you tell the good people?
Well, the people that play in our local community, you have people like Alex, you have people like myself. There's a local college professor. It's
That's right. We have two doctors
right. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, two doctors
who play with us.
It's all, for the most part, very intelligent people, and it's not like your typical super nerdy hobby where you get some people who tend to suck.
What he's saying is we do apply deodorant. We bake.
Right,
We're
right.
not Magic players or D&D players.
We're not Magic players.
Right. No. It's even beyond that. There tends to be more of the people who have social skills. You're talking about a more mature crowd, typically. There's...
As you wear a yellow shirt with rifles on it. More mature.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Weapons.
I said mature, not flamboyant.
Okay.
Less flamboyant.
Carry on. Carry
Yeah,
on.
okay.
The pineapple's got to go there, buddy. I'm just kidding. I love this shirt. I'm not going to steal it from him.
Right. No,
Totally
a
wear
couple
that.
more
The
like
pineapples
this,
and
man.
rifles.
You know what? If they have me on again, all three of us are going to be in shirts
Oh.
like this.
And I will wear that shirt.
Absolutely.
I will wear
All right,
that
that's
shirt.
such a great
Absolutely.
idea, Kelly. You should take a drink.
Okay.
That's right.
I'm weaseling the words
Warms the
down.
belly.
But you see, I'm not flinching. You see, it's called taking something like a man.
It is strong.
Right? It is strong. No, it is strong. But I'm a professional at this.
Last night, I thought I was a professional.
Oh no, you were not. I can confirm.
I get so
It was
excited.
interesting. Oh yes, there was lots of excited jumping and yelling and.
So another thing about the community that I want to get to is that Yes, it's an older crowd, generally a more successful crowd because this game is not cheap.
No, it is not.
That's a great.
There is a price point
yes.
to it.
If you were to just add up what's on the table here, just to give you an idea, that big bastard behind Kelly, that's like $1,100 just for that, you know.
Yeah,
But what it brings to the game is
Quite a
crazy.
bit. It's significant.
Yeah, so
think about how
there's-
hard it would be for someone to try and take that thing down.
Well,
There's probably $1,000 on this table right here.
easily
yeah.
$1,000.
So it's an older crowd, but unlike the normal wargaming crowd, whether they're playing Risk or Axis and Allies or whatever, they tend to be more spurgy, and I can say that because I'm diagnosed. And like not the good kind of spurgy, like
Right.
you know. So
High functioning.
They're just aloof and they're weird and they don't make eye contact and they don't smell very good and they're not the kind of person where after spending 4 hours of your life rolling dice with you, you'd be like, I would like to see you outside of this setting, sir. No, you're like, nope, I don't even need to know your name. I'm just going to call you Wiggle.
Right, that's exactly what I was going into with the higher social skills, the higher thought functionality, because this isn't a game that you can just show up and play. There has to be thought behind it. There has to be some sort of almost methodical like approach to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't just this isn't something you can just pick up and play. You have to be intelligent. You have to have
you have to have the knowledge.
Right.
Alex, how long have you been playing this?
Well, I first started in junior high when I was 12.
Okay, so you've been legit
But like,
playing since
I didn't know
you were
what I
a
was
kid.
doing. The rules have changed so much. No, I that was just wasting time. I was just putting models on the table and rolling dice. I didn't know what I was doing.
Okay.
I picked it up seriously in law school. That's a weird sentence, but that's what happened. Because I had some buddies who were reading the books, and one guy was an artist, and he ended up saying like, if you guys buy the models, I'll paint them for you. And we were like, done, because I knew I couldn't
Yeah,
paint
but
with
to
the crap.
him, that was probably fun.
Yeah, we had a great time, and the stuff came out really, really nice. And so we started playing like 2011, and I've been playing ever since then. But I played 40K during those years, which was a little bit different rule sets. This is the Horus Heresy game, so it's a different storyline. It's kind of set back in time from the 40K game, and it's kind of like, I guess you would say 7.5, the edition. Right
Yeah.
now, Warhammer 40K is in the 9th edition. The rules here are from the 7th edition, and I think they're superior. And so it's a very intense game. Like, I don't want you to feel bad that you had poor performances when you first. Because
Dude,
like,
I sucked.
dude, like. You didn't even read the rules. I mean, normally a player will like spend some time researching, and then they'll come and they won't win a game forever. Like, we have a number of guys,
I
and like
think
they've been playing with us for over a year, and like one guy finally beat me the first time.
I think I went almost a year before I won my first game, and then after that, I was like, "Oh, this is how these things work. Here we go."
And I've watched Kelly's from the beginning of his Horus Heresy career, because I remember when he jumped ship because he saw what we were playing. He was like, "That is way better than what the other game is."
Oh yeah, so
And
much more fun than 40K.
He came in and like, I got to watch him go from not knowing what the fuck he was doing to being a top tier player now. And it's interesting hearing him tell stories of him traveling to other gaming groups, across the country and playing with them, because you get to see, their meta, the things that are like popular in their.
Oh, that trip! I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just, I've had similar experiences, and one of the most amazing things is that there are international events. And I'm wearing the shirt from Adepticon, which is basically like the top convention in the world for Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
And so I've been going there the last couple of years, and it's been really awesome. Number one, because I've met so many guys there that I'd be like, dude, I would totally be good friends with you. Like, you're cool
Right,
as
absolutely.
crap. We stay in touch, and we make plans for what we're going to do when we get together the next year's event, and we go out drinking. And because of me, there's going to be a cigar meetup at Adepticon,
Nice.
because a lot of players smoke.
Excellent.
So I'm trying to present the love and show that there's a lot of crossover. Not that kind of crossover, John. Don't get excited.
Hey, I'm not the one wearing that mustache, buddy.
I do it for the ladies. Hey, listen, everybody. Here's what I want y'all to do. Okay, I want you to post in the comments how sexy Murray is to make John have to read every one of them, and then
I read every single
Then he'll
comment
be
we have.
so
Every
humble
single one?
that he
Every
won't have
single
to. He won't be able to look me in the eye, or he won't be able to look me in the Murray when he wants to talk smack about Murray. He's just gonna be like, all right. And then after I get 5 comments, talking about how great Murray is, I'm going to make John get on his knees and apologize to Murray.
I just want to point out
On
how
air.
5 comments, like that's the bar, right? 5
Well, given the fact that we get like none,
No, we do. We did.
five is a lot.
I comment.
Yeah, you did. You commented on this.
Right, on the
past
last one.
Yep.
Right, yeah.
All right, fine. Make a fool out of me, whatever.
Okay. Okay, tracking.
Just saying,
Yeah,
every time I
got
look
you.
over, it's like my buddy, and then I think I'm in a Chips episode. You know what I mean? It's like, why?
So one of the things
the
I
ladies
have to,
do like it.
I have to confess about the game. Before I got my diagnosis, there was a lot about me I just didn't understand. And one of those things was that all my life, whenever I did anything that had rules, I just excelled. You know, and I didn't know why, but it was just very, very intuitive for me.
Right.
And
I think that's every guy.
when I
We love rules.
when I found Warhammer, I spent about 3 months just reading online about Tactica ideas, and then I started playing, and I didn't lose a game for my first 6 months, and it was just because I even though I really didn't know what I was doing, I was already treating the game more deep than the guys I was playing with, and I didn't really understand what was so different about that until everybody who would come into the group would be more like Kelly, and I mean minus the shirt, and then but he would there's a learning
Are you
curve.
saying you want me to take off the shirt?
And,
No,
oh, good Lord, no. No, we don't need the censors on our
Right,
on our
right,
asses
right.
here. But like most players have a very steep learning curve where it takes them like 6 months before they win their first game, and I didn't understand why I didn't follow that. You know, why I was an anomaly. And then I went to a Adepticon for my first event, and I was scared to death because I knew I was going up against the best in the world, and I had no idea how I was going to stack up because all I had ever really experienced was our group, which there were some good guys there, but like if we're honest, they don't really keep up with me, and so I ended up like taking liberties with my list to kind of make it harder for me. And
Excuse me.
yes,
Excuse me.
present company accepted. Okay. Just full disclosure, for our last game, did I or did I not say bring your best and let's go for it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so like there were no quarters given.
No,
in your game,
no,
right? So
no.
you got all of my girth, baby.
That's
I
what I'm
took
saying.
the whole thing out, and I went for
That's what I'm
penetration.
saying. No, he's talking about, everybody else in the group, especially like the local meta, have to take
But
it easy.
outside of Kelly,
But these are the games that I like to come watch those kind of games. 'Cause
Right.
that's exciting. Like I came it was like a couple weekends ago or weeks ago. I just wanted to watch that game.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I totally forgot. You owe me 2 drinks, good sir. You can continue.
But I'm saying like the board
Stone
looks just
face.
so crazy.
Stone face. Stone face.
Stoneface Roger.
Let's see it again. I love this game, by the way, John. I don't know if I told you that. I love it. All right, anyway, continue.
No, I was just saying like even if you're not participating in the battle, it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, there's a cinematic element to it.
And,
Yeah,
and that's a
there's
good point to bring
drama.
up because there aren't too many games where spectators have a great time.
Yeah.
Right.
But Horus Heresy is such a game because the models are gorgeous.
Yep.
The game has that cinematic, suspenseful, like, oh my god, I can tell some stuff's about to happen.
Yep.
And I don't know who's going to live or who's going to die, but I can tell it's going to be bad. Like that's amazing.
There's a lot of butthole fuckering because you're like,
game
oh my God,
writes its own
it could go this way or
story.
that way.
The
Yes,
game
it
writes
does
its own
write
story,
its
especially because you have specific characters. You have a couple out here on the floor. You have, Alfarius, who is again my guy, and then you have Conrad Kurz, who is Alex's, and you can create a timeline, a story, a sequence of events that just plays out beautifully to this very, very cinematic experience. And to me, like that's what really keeps me coming back is that drama.
Yeah.
It
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Man
It is
drama.
that drama.
That's
Man
amazing.
drama.
That's amazing. Take a drink, Kelly. I like my word now.
I think
Still Stoneface.
Still stone face, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna put that. Wait, let me channel my Leonidas voice. We'll put that to the test.
That's a really bad Leonidas
I'm
voice.
sorry. We'll put that to the test. The better.
Oh, so now he's Scottish?
Well, he is.
He is
you know,
Scottish.
but like his
Leonidas-
accent kind of
No.
slips.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yeah,
so to
he's-
do his Leonidas, you have to be like, I'm
That's a
Scottish, but I'm trying to
Connery.
not sound Scottish. So
Yeah.
it's tough,
No,
man.
Leonidas was a Spartan, man.
I
That's-
know that, but the guy playing him was Scottish, and
Right,
it would
right.
come
he
through.
tends to Get a Connery in there. True.
A little bit.
It's Connery falls.
Dude, the middle of this thing is so
Amazing.
freaking good.
Amazing.
So explain to the viewer, Kelly, why this is worth $28.
Oh no, now you're putting me on the spot. No, it is. There's an aspect to cigars. You can tell quality, like a high quality to low quality. It's almost hard to articulate sometimes the true difference.
That's why I love being around Alex.
Like there's a smoothness to it. There's a flavor to it.
He loves Murray.
And I like to joke around a lot too, especially when I'm trying a new cigar. Is that Doritos? But
Dude, Kelly jokes around like stupid, and he's got the weirdest sense of humor. Like one time we were hanging out,
Doritos.
and he was like,
yeah,
he was like,
Doritos.
and he was like, he was blowing me, and then he was like, I'm just doing this just to mess with you. I'm not really gay. And I was like, dude, that's a really great joke.
No. I pick on that a lot. But with a high quality stick, you are going to pick up the different flavors, right? Mm-hmm. It's not blowing smoke up someone's ass, right? There's really good, rich flavors that come through every pull.
Every
I
single
love
time.
how much smoke comes out.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
very productive. It's very thick smoke. And it's just
the flavor is very consistent so far the entire time, and it just tastes better and better. You get that chocolate, you get that leather, you get
It's a symphony.
Yes, absolutely.
very rich chocolate leather.
Yep.
Love the chocolate leather.
Absolutely. And a lot of these high-end cigars, they're more than just tobacco.
We say they're high end.
Well,
$28 is not really high end when you're like, if you look at some of the other cigars that are out there, like $100.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're trying to get
you're
into
talking about
Habanos,
by
that's-
comparison, right? This isn't going to touch. Again, it's not going to touch your Monte Cristo. It's not going to touch your Cohibas. It's not going to touch.
Okay, hold on now. I look. Everybody knows I'm the Cuban cigar guy.
Yeah.
Just earlier today,
You're the
I
Cuban
was-
cigar guy?
I was given a tour to a young man who was the new hire at Cigar Merchant. He was Ethan's replacement. Ethan, friend of the show, and so he was asking me, to show him around. So I was showing him stuff, and I was telling him a little bit about this stick, a little bit about that stick, and he, some guy was like, "Don't listen to him. He just smokes Cuban cigars." And I was like, "Excuse." I show him some other stuff, and so like I'm not gonna be one of those guys where it's just like it's Cuban cigars or it's nothing.
Yeah, you're not
'cause
that
there's
guy.
There's plenty of great stuff coming
there
out.
are good sticks that
You're
aren't
definitely not
Cuban.
that guy.
It's just
This
When you're
is easily
speaking-
as good as a bunch of Cuban cigars.
right.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
when,
yeah.
when you're speaking generally compared to like the grand swath of cigars that exist, and then Cubans, they're just on an entirely different level, right? But I would easily say that this is up there with them. This is
I would say
one of
that's
the
what
best.
every other cigar is trying to catch. They're
Right.
trying to get to that.
Right, that's the golden standard.
Yeah.
That is the golden standard that everything else is trying to aspire to.
Like this actually has a fair amount in common with like the Cohiba Robusto or the Cohiba Talisman, which are like the Talisman's $100 a stick. $100 a stick. It's a fantastic smoke, but it's right up there. It's a little bit more rich in the
yes,
flavor
absolutely.
because Cohibas have a mellowness to them, which is what makes them excel because they have the full flavor of something like this, but they manage to make the smoke really light.
I would say you hit the nail on the head when you compared this to a Robusto. I would say like nail on the head.
Well, they do call me the scholar. So
Right. That is why you're the scholar, right?
I know. And now they're going to change it to the gentleman and the heartthrob because of Murray.
This guy.
Dude, every day Lindsay's like, man, I'll bring me some Murray. I love Murray. She's like, okay, Murray's apparently a hit. And Abby and Lindsay want to beat your ass for trying to convince them to tell me to shave Murray.
I'm not going to stop trying.
He has a right to live, John.
Our right to live, man. John, you got to be careful, man. Again, you could anger him, and then it's going to start to bristle, right? These sticking
I do
If I get
strands.
really angry, I'll fire them off at you.
Right. Like a tarantula, just firing off individual hairs.
Oh my god.
It's just
When he's
fun.
excited or threatened, that's when it starts to bristle, and that's when you really have to watch out.
Hey, I mean, he's pulling it off. It's just like, I don't know. There's something about
Well,
it.
it's weird. I look in the mirror and like it's a different guy looking back at me.
Yeah. It's just weird. It's not
very,
my
very
buddy.
weird.
That's how I feel now that I've shaved again. Like I
Yeah,
enjoyed the beard.
You guys
I
don't know,
really
but
liked
he
it.
had a Santa Claus beard. Like,
It looked like pubes on his face.
no, it didn't.
No.
It was huge.
No.
It was very, very puby, very just like curly all the way around. He looked
No.
like we have this hat for our children when they were babies. It was like this little yarn cap. It was like a little lumberjack cap, so it was a red cap, but it had the beard sewn into
Yeah.
it, and you'd put it on the kid's face, so it looked like this little baby has a full beard. That was Kelly's beard.
Right.
If he would have just trimmed it up just a little bit on the sides, it would have been.
Well, I was letting it grow out.
Yeah.
That was the plan, right? You let it grow out,
Yeah,
so
you
then
gotta
you
let
can
it grow
trim
out
it
first, and then
down,
you put
and
it
then
to
you
where
get
you
this
want it.
really
Let me put
nice
it to you
shape
this way,
to
fellas. Kelly, did you name your beard?
Bertha.
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 That's bullshit. I
It
call
was
bullshit on
pretty
that.
big, so I could give it Bertha.
Well, all right.
Yeah, it was Big Bertha.
Well, because whenever he'd walk by with that thing, you had to give him a wide Bertha.
Oh, you guys are making my hangover go away. I love it.
Well, I'm trying to get you drunk. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. We need to get you to drink more, right?
I mean, I'm doing a good job of getting Kelly to drink, but man, I'm not getting John.
Yeah, but again, I'm a professional at this.
You're professional at saying his word.
I believe John gets a touche on that one. Touche.
Yeah.
So tell our viewers about the mechanics of the game, Kelly.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
this is the part I still need to pay attention
right.
to.
It's easy in concept, difficult once you actually put it into effect. You have each unit has their own individual rules, down to movement, what weapons they have, what they can do, shooting, move. I already said moving, charging, attacking, etc.
Yeah, that's one thing we need to point out. Even though this is a futuristic game where the weapons are like ridiculously out of science fiction, you know, they've got heat guns, they've got these electrical guns, they've got these conversion beamer guns that like deatomize you. It's
Laser
really, really crazy
cannons.
stuff. But there's also close combat. There's really viscerally evocative close combat, and this game has that into it, so it's like you can choose to stay at range and just shell the crap out of each other, or you can get close and assault, in which case like all kind of shenanigans happen.
And then,
It is
see,
so
when
much
that
fun.
happens, like, and you destroy somebody, you're like, oh yeah, I destroyed it. Wait, it's gonna blow up in my face. And if I'm
Right,
too
right.
close, I'm screwed.
Sometimes
That's right.
sometimes it
I
does.
love It's a game of
Sometimes
inches,
it does.
man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does. Now, the way things are all dictated, how you resolve everything, how do you pick, okay, this guy's attacking this guy, how do you know that he was successful? You roll dice. It's all boils down to a dice game.
It's like a chance game.
Right, absolutely. There's an element of chance to it, but there's if you have a good strategy, that will carry you farther than chance.
Have you guys ever played with somebody who played with loaded dice?
No.
No. I mean, we've played with cheaters.
Yeah, we've absolutely
Yeah,
played
that's
with
what I'm
cheaters.
saying. Like, are there people out there, community? that-
100%. Yeah. Well, in any sort of high competitive game, you're going to have people that cheat at it, right?
Dude,
And all it matters
I was at
is mitigating
Adepticon,
that.
and I was in a team tournament with my buddy Jason, and he was ex-military. Like, this game has an amazing appeal to ex-military guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
because
absolutely.
It's a safe way of reliving what made the military fun. And so he picked it up. He was a Marine, and dude, like he followed the typical curve, but like when he figured out the game, he was tough. And so I was like, dude, let's team up. And so we played. I was Night Lords, the Blue Army, and he was Word Bearers. And we had this list that just murdered everybody we played. I figured it was going to be good, but my God, we smoked everybody. Well, the team that we faced in the finals had an illegal list. And it managed to get through the judging because they have to review your list to make sure it's legal. Well, somehow they got it through. And they get to us, and I'm like, that's an illegal list. Like, how do you know? I was like, because I'm me, and I'm telling you, it's illegal. So we get the judge over, and they're like, yeah, that's illegal. You can't do that. So they're like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, you should forfeit. Like, that you don't get to just be like an oopsie. It ain't like boxing where you hit a low blow. Like, you made an illegal list. DQ. But whatever. They were Canadians. So all the stuff they say about Canadians being nice is bullshit. Canadians are assholes. All right? They can take the little maple leaves and stick them up their ass. Sorry. Anyway.
I mean,
so,
I'm sure that is a Canadian kink, actually.
Oh, right,
I'm
right.
pretty sure. I mean, research will have to be done for science.
They allowed them to make some changes. And they end up beating us, even though they cheated. And they cheated the way they played. So, yes, because of how competitive the game is, you do bring out some charlatans who pull some shenanigans, which motivates my story, which is the most amazing story of poetic justice that I will regale for you guys. So, I run the group for our community, and we meet at the shop on Wednesdays, and we have a bunch of guys. Well, there was a guy, I won't say his name, but Kelly's gonna know who I'm talking about real quick. He played, and he had a very particular style, which was, I don't care about anybody having fun. I just have to smash my opponent because I hate my life, and I'm gonna take it out on this guy.
The name starts with a C. I know exactly.
No, it's not. No. That starts with a C. But yes, him too.
Yeah, him too.
But anyway, that's not. I don't have a good story about that one. That's a stupid story. So anyway, this guy, like, for about a year and a half, we were the only 2 players in town, and so I had to play this guy every week for about a year. And so, like,
you're talking about the guy's codename In. Mm-hmm. Yeah, codename In.
That's a chap.
Yep.
So he really forced me to take my game to the top level because he was just any advantage he could get, whether illegal or not, he would go for it, and it was up to you to call him out on it. You know, he actually said in response to being caught cheating, "Well, you should have been watching."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Wow, we're buddies, and you're pulling that shit against me." So he had a reputation, and he'd been called out for cheating a number of times. Well, our group finally grew from the me and him to about 10 guys. And I was like, this is awesome. And so in order to kind of like welcome them, it's a big community now. But in order to welcome them in, I was like, look, I'm going to host a tournament. And I want all you guys to come in, and the prizes will be models from the shop, so you can build your armies, because I wanted them to like get into the hobby and see how fun it was. Because, you know, I'd seen enough players come and go. I'd been through play groups, and I wanted to build one the right way, where it was like cool guys, and you could actually do social events. Like, I host events at my house. We'll play weekend games of Apocalypse, and it's a blast. I mean, we smoke cigars, drink whiskey, and throw dice.
Yep.
How fun is it, Kelly?
Exactly what we're doing right now, right?
Yeah.
Exactly what we're doing right now.
I do this tournament. Well, the guy in, he's enjoying all the fresh meat. And he was just murdering them each game, and he wasn't trying to like teach them the game. He was just bullying them because they didn't know what they were doing. And when you'd call him out on it, he'd say, "Hey, something like tears make the best lube." I'm like, okay, that's kind of rapey and
that's really rapey.
Like, why can't you just like, you know, play it down to the new guy to because if they don't like it, they leave. Right. And then you got nobody to play with. Then you're stuck playing with me, and that sucks.
And then people
don't do that to me, right?
Right. Yeah. No one wants that.
So he's just murdering everybody every week, and I tell him, hey, look, why don't you tone it down for the tournament? Because I know you're going to play in it. And let me tell you what the purpose is. It's not to get prizes for us. We have armies. Like, this guy had a garage full of armies. He didn't need anything. But it was still not about that. It was about he had to sodomize his opponent to get up for how shitty his life was. So he's like, no, I'm not going to go easy on him. I'm going to bring my... And I knew what list he was talking about because he'd been playing it. And so he's like, no, I'm going to go hard, and I'm going to win this tournament. I'm like, man, you bastard. So I rigged the tournament. I rigged the tournament against In. And because I knew the list he was playing. And the way I did my tournaments, it was amazing. So I had this lottery system for random table assignments. I set up all the tables in advance, and so you didn't know who you were going to play. And each mission had multiple objectives, so that if you built your list to focus on one style,
you could be screwing
you were going to be screwing the other two. You had to have a list that could kill stuff, cross the table quickly, hold objectives. Okay, you couldn't just, and a lot of guys, they would build these kind of spam lists where they would just be really good at one thing. And if, you know, because the thing is like, it doesn't matter what the objectives are doing. If you're wiped off the table, you lose.
Right.
Like, that's it. So there were guys who were having success conceding the objectives and just saying, I'm just going to table you. I'm going to bring some ridiculous combination that you're not going to be able to deal with because you didn't tailor your list to me, and I'm just going to murder you. And so it's not a cool way to do it. It's unethical because it's like, dude, the whole idea is you want to have a game where when it's over, you want to go out for beers and talk about how awesome it was. Well, when you have a game where a guy gets blown off the table in 2 turns, he's not going to want to talk about it. He's not going to be like, oh my God, man, picking up my models was so much fun tonight. Like, they're not going to say that.
Makes sense.
So I was really pissed off that he was not going to do what he could to make this a fun tournament. So what I did is I knew what the foil, because he ran a very one-dimensional list focusing on just one thing. So I knew what his foil was. So I contacted the guy who had the army for it, and I said, hey, look, this is what I want to do. Are you in? And he's like, as soon as I told him who it was, he was like, fuck yeah! What do I do? And I was like, hey, look, I'm gonna write your list for you, and you play that list. and we're gonna set you up where you're gonna play in on this first game, and this is gonna be the deployment, this is gonna be the terrain, this is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, Roger that. And so I had this whole thing set up where the game announcement at the beginning of the tournament was done by a lottery where another guy had to pull. So I had to rig the entire lottery system so that they got pulled at the same time on the same table to make what I wanted to do work. Well, let's just say they don't call me the scholar for nothing. It worked like a charm. So we do the assignments for the tables, and In is all excited because he's actually dumb and he didn't realize what was coming, and he looked at his opponent and was like, oh yeah, I can totally shoot this guy off the table, blah blah blah, but he just didn't know because he couldn't think ahead.
That sounds exactly like him, by the way.
That's how he talks too.
Yeah, 100%.
It's the frat boy, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that because he went to a frat, but he likes to have sex with frat boys.
Oh
anyway.
my God.
I'm sorry, that was off color. The ref takes the point below the belt. So anyway, the tournament starts. I'm not only the TO, the tournament organizer, but I'm also playing it because we just didn't have spots. But I had brought a very watered down list, and I wasn't planning. I wasn't going to win the tournament anyway. So I'm playing my game, but I'm watching In's game because I want to see what's about to happen. And so they set up, and like he's got this whole like, I'm gonna smoke this guy look on his face, and like this is awesome because he's so oblivious to what is about to happen to him. And so I'm setting my thing up, and when I walk over to the table, the first turn has ended. Okay, normally a game takes 5 turns at a minimum, upwards of 7 turns, and so a good game can take you 3 hours easy. Okay,
yeah.
Well, for these events you got to get a game done in 2 hours because you're playing all day. It's 3 rounds, and so you can't afford to waste your time on one game. So I'll go over there. One turn has happened. In no longer has the shit-eating grin on his face. He's got this look of, what is happening to me right now? I cannot even like put into words how bad this is. And he like his eyes were as big as saucers. He was running his hand through his hair like he was in the Great Depression. He watched all his stocks just disappear before his eyes. And of course his opponent is just rolling dice, having a good old time. Well, I see that like over half of In's army is off the table already, and I knew why.
Right.
It was dead. But I was like, I'm gonna go a little bit. So I walk over to him. I'm like, hey man, is all that in reserve waiting to come in? And he looks at me with his big eyes, like this panicked look on his face. And he's like, nah man, they're fucking dead. They're just dead.
He was pissed.
Oh my god, dude. And he had no jelly in his donut. It was all gone. He was just like, what? And so he got tabled really fast. And then we had a keg for the turn because that's how I roll. We had Parish Brewing supply kegs, and we would get shit faced as we were playing. It was amazing. It was such a good time. So after his game, he like, makes a beeline for the keg to drown his sorrows, and I walk out there. It's like because obviously if this was a legit tournament, I wouldn't know what I know, but I do know what I know, and I gotta act like I don't. So I walk out, and I'm such a good actor. Oh, I mean, the Academy Award really should have gone to me. Yeah. So I walk out there, and I'm like, "Hey man, how was your game?" He looks at it and goes, man, I got taken to the wood chipper, the woodshed, bad. I'm like, oh man, he's like, I don't know what happened, but like,
you're like, I do.
Everything that came into play was just like gone immediately, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. What are the odds, right? But so because of that first loss, wiping him out on points, he had no chance of winning the tournament. So I was like, yeah, ha ha ha, now get out of my way. And I ended up making it to the finals with this other guy who had a lot of stuff, but we agreed to just call it a tie and donate all the prizes to the new guys. And so they got to get a bunch of stuff and have some good games and really see the fun of the community. And that's one of the things
that's what it's all about, is the community.
Man,
it's getting people
really
together.
I played for years with this group where it was like you went, you played your game, and they didn't make any effort to befriend you or get to know you. And I was like, y'all are all dicks. And as soon as they kicked me out of their group, I was like, I'm going to start my own group and we're going to be cool. And that's what I did. And now I have big parties where we set up these elaborate tables and just have a blast. And Lindsay cooks, and it's just a all-day party. It's fantastic.
It really is. We played all weekend, one weekend before. It was great.
Kelly's like, yeah, gets to go annoy his wife again, and he comes over and just does what he does. It's a charm,
Hey,
Goes with the shirt.
it comes with the shirt. Comes with the shirt.
Okay, guys, we're in our middle third. Notes.
It's still hitting. I'm still
Absolutely.
picking up everything.
From start to finish. Like, it has been absolutely a pleasure.
For me, it's the finish. The finish is still.
The finish is what's money about it, because with a cigar so heavy, you would expect by this end your tongue is getting clogged. Like, it's just so heavy, but it stays crisp on the finish, even at this stage where it's like it's not cloying or anything like that. Which is why this is the last cigar you smoke in a day. Never have this early on, because it will ruin anything else you smoke. When we
absolutely,
when Dustin was fighting McGregor for the rematch, we were camping, and I had brought a bunch of sticks with me, and I had a Maximus and I had a Monte Cristo Leyenda. Okay, and for those of you who don't know, the Leyenda is one of the highest of the Monte Cristo line out of Cuba, and it's like an $85 cigar, and it's a big stick. But it's got these amazing, like, cappuccino leather notes that just, like, you can't get that combination outside of Cuba. You just can't do it. Well, I had this I smoked earlier in the card, and then for the main event I wanted to smoke the Leyenda, because I was like, I want to smoke my best cigar.
And it ruined it?
It ruined it.
Yeah.
I had to put it out, so I was like, I can't taste it.
Yeah.
It tastes like nothing, because this is that heavy duty.
Yeah.
absolutely.
So take a note, people, but go get one.
You got it. You have to.
No,
Come say over here, say Newman. Also, just between me and you, they'll give you an extra 5% if you flash them your tits.
Man,
He knows from
man
experience.
titties.
Just hey, I know a lot of the guys are big boys. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. A C cup is still a C cup, right?
You got to see it.
You got to see it.
So, John, one thing I want to know, since you're a proud card-carrying member of the committee, we talk about, like, heavy men with man boobs. We talk about those as being like, oh, he's got titties. But because you like them so small, does that mean when you look at just a regular fit guy, you're like, oh, he's got titties?
No.
No.
I don't look at guys like that. But I'm just saying, like, no, I'm a firm believer. If you don't want to spend money on your significant other as you progress in your, relationship with the person, they're gonna drag. They're gonna, like, I dated women when I was younger. I was like, because everyone was like, oh man, boobs, and I guess when I was younger, I was like, yeah, boobs, and then I was like, as I seen them get a little older, I'm like, man, those things are falling to the ground, and it just became unattractive to me.
Wait, how old were these women you were dating when you were a kid?
That's the thing is, okay, and this is something I've never told you this before, but when I was younger, because my sister was older, I always was hanging around older girls, you know what I mean? So it's the same thing happened, like, and I just thought that was my crew, like, oh, those are people who I hang out with, the older crowd,
Right.
So I always dated older women when I was younger. It's weird. So yeah, I used to hang out.
But how old are we talking about? These door knockers you're describing.
So
like a tennis ball and a sock kind of thing.
Like a National Geographic special. Is that what you're talking about?
That's racist, Kelly. We don't condone that kind of talk here.
I didn't mention race.
I'm just saying.
You said National Geographic. Why don't you just say the N-word, Kelly? I mean, come on.
I'm just saying, like, back in the day, big boobs were the thing for me, and then I kind of grew out of it. I was like, no, that's not attractive to me anymore.
John, let me explain something to you.
But the age, yes, I was definitely.
Just because a woman has a set of knockers doesn't mean they're going to drop to the floor.
Unless you spend money on them.
No. It's about your skin. Okay, your skin elasticity, that varies. So you can have women who, like, their boobs look great well into their 40s. Then you have women that by the time they're 29, it's flapjack city. It's just, it's not a universal rule. It's not like, Newton's fifth law of thermodynamics. Where there be titties, they be dropping. No.
They be dropping.
I normally judge it off the areola. Big areolas, again, they're going to drop quick. If small area, they might not drop as fast.
I mean, that's not really an objective standard, though.
That's pretty interesting. Did you read about that in phrenology reports?
No, that's what I've seen based off of relationships.
I mean, I'm just of the mind that all boobs are good boobs.
To each his own.
You're right, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Never seen a pair on a woman that I didn't want to see.
John has to be the Simon Cowell of everything. Cigars and boobs. Like, no, don't want to.
Right.
Little story real quick. I dated a girl who was amazing. Latino, beautiful woman. I was like trying to be all sensual. I was like, oh yeah, let me give you a bath, because we hadn't been like intimate like that, right? So I'm like,
okay.
Like, yeah. So I start giving her a bath, and she got a draw bubble bath. It's amazing. You know, I'm getting the scent of candles. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get this.
Right.
And I grab the loofah. She gets in there. I was like, nah, you just go ahead. I played it so smooth. I was like, no, you just get in the bathtub. Gets in the bathtub, and I was caressing her back. I moved her around to the front, and at first I was like, no, there's a hair on the loofah. Let me get that thing. And I'm going like this. I'm like, it's not coming off. Shit, hair around her nipple, like dude hair. And I was like, no. I quickly made the fastest. I was like, I gotta drop the loofah. I was like, there's a thing I forgot I had to get to.
He's like, I totally forgot I'm gay. I'm totally gay. I gotta go stop some cock right now.
Things so quickly. And for like 2 weeks, I never even talked to her, and all her friends were hitting me up and like, yo, what happened between you guys? I was like,
it got hairy.
there was hair on her nipple, and they were like, "You're such an asshole." I'm like, "No, I'm not." I'm just like,
he's like, "I'm not an asshole. I'm just shallow."
Right. Bingo.
Very shallow.
Very vain, very shallow. So yeah, I quickly got out of there.
Oh my God, John.
So yeah, I've seen a lot, and those are nipples that I would never want to see again.
Oh my God.
Sorry, she was beautiful though, gorgeous.
But a couple of hairs and you just know no point.
Yeah, a couple of hairs.
Yeah,
That's your standard.
sorry.
That's your cutoff.
They didn't have
you know the
LASIK
thing about a
for
woman with but they do make tweezers.
Right, tweezers exist.
And once you tweeze them up, they look like just a booby.
Razor blade is
Just
something
a
that
booby.
exists as well. I mean,
Could you imagine that, like with guys, like you start shaving, you better keep up with it because it's going to grow in thicker and thicker and thicker, right?
right?
Imagine that you tweeze it, then instead of 2 being there, there's now 4.
Oh
Then
my God.
6, then 10. Then you're like, oh, she comes out the closet.
I don't think it works that way, John.
No.
I don't think it works that way. I don't think,
You
I
see,
don't think
if
you're,
you tweeze enough, you'll actually kill the follicle, and then it won't grow anymore.
I hope that happened to you. I hope that you killed the follicle.
Oh my God, the way John's going, he's gonna say her name. He's gonna out her.
no,
He outs everybody.
No.
Oh, my
I never
God.
say that about her.
Dude, how many gay guys have you outed? He's like, oh, that guy's gay, I blew it.
Never.
I'm sorry, John. I have to tease you.
I'm a
He says
gagger.
never, but he means at least twice.
Oh, what?
Uncomfortable silence.
All right, so how can the viewers learn more about this game? Kelly, go ahead. Pitch it. Do your thing.
Well, I mean, there's YouTube channels for it. Now, the people who play on these YouTube channels typically aren't the best, but there's YouTube channels. You can go to your local game store. You can find,
Or you can
the
do old
community
school,
for
read a
this.
book.
The community for this is absolutely massive. It's a true worldwide community. The company that makes these models are actually the largest model company in the world.
And that would be
There's a-
Games Workshop.
Yes, they are the largest model paint shop in the world. So, the reach is everywhere.
And when we say global, like we mean it. I ended up on an Australian podcast because of a game that I played up in Adepticon, where my opponent was this guy from Australia, and cool guy. And I, you know how I love to do accents. Well,
No, really?
It was-
I wasn't
Did
aware.
you didn't do that.
dude. Well, the thing is that all right.
There's
So
no shame
here's
in
another
that
thing
game.
about what makes Horus Heresy the greatest gaming community, bar none, in the world. So in Adepticon, they have restaurants, they have concessions, they have a bar. Okay, so if you want to drink in the main playing halls, which is like gymnasiums, you got to go get a drink at the bar, and they're like $11 a beer because it's like an event. So it's like you're paying concert prices for everything. So everything's stupid expensive. Well, the Horus Heresy guys, we had a little ballroom all to ourselves. And so every table in there was designated for our games. And so we would go and bring in booze out the ass. I'm talking, there was a wall of beer, and then we have a group that comes out of Kentucky, and they bring bottles of really good bourbon, and they go around making sure everyone drinks a lot of it, which is why they're so cool. And then you have the guys from Sweden who bring all the vodka, and it's just like a hedonistic party, rolling dice, and you're trying to like not get too drunk so that you can finish your games. But it's all free. Because it's just the guys they just bring, because that's the camaraderie. And so like I've actually made good friends with guys from Denmark and from Sweden. There's a guy from Sweden that I've been talking to since I met him, where he like picked up Night Lords and shows me works of progress and his paint schemes, and he asked me questions about stuff, and like we just shoot the shit. And then every time there's another Adepticon, we go up there, we all meet, and we go out to eat, and we drink, and it's just like a 4-day party. I remember I knew I was in deep shit when the first Adepticon, I go, and the first night we go out and we get pied out, and the next morning I'm going for my first event, which starts at like 9, and so like you get up, you power down at breakfast, and you're just like trying to sober up as you walk to the convention center. And I go in there, and I see one of the guys from Denmark that I had been drinking with, and he's drinking already. And I go to him like, how's it going, man? And he's like, it's going good. And I'm like, dude, I'm fucking hung over. And he's like, we have answer for that. Drink more. That's what I'm doing. I'm like, oh my God. But that's what they do. And it's just like, I put some bruises on the liver up there. That's all I'm going to say. And it's just such a great time. We're going to post pictures right now of tables of games that I've been involved with, and it's like, you're not going to believe it. You are not going to believe it, because like that guy is small compared to what's up there at Adepticon. You get to see the biggest of the big models and people go to show off their stuff. There are guys who build a new Legion, a new project each year to debut at Adepticon.
That's awesome.
And they post pictures all year of like this. There was one guy, he had an Imperial Guard army, which is basically humans. So these are superhumans, so they're bigger scale. But he had a human army, and he customized the entire thing, because Games Workshop just makes what they make. But it's up to you if you want to change it to something else. This guy made the entire army the Cobra army from G.I. Joe.
That's dope.
He took the vehicles from Games Workshop and cut them up to make the vehicles from the G.I. Joe cartoon. And so he had Cobra Commander, and he had Vipers, and like I was like, dude.
Well, I mean, with the new like 3D, like the way they could build stuff now, I mean, you could just 3D render something and
but not the same quality.
You think?
I know. It's very difficult to get 3D printed replicas that look anywhere near as good as these resin models, because they put so much effort into these details. Like just one of those guys up there is like $100, because they're so expertly put together. When you put them side by side with other models from other game systems, you can tell like, oh yeah, like they spared no expense.
There's
in the
absolutely
design.
zero comparison. Like again, just the pure attention to detail, especially when you talk about the characters. You know, every little bit, every little like chink in the armor, and every little divot from battle damage is in there. You'll see every scale if they're wearing something that has layers to it. You can look at one of my guys right there, and you know, every little inch, well, I say inch, I mean the model's only 3 inches tall, but you know, every centimeter, I guess, every millimeter of that model, there's something interesting going on. There's some amount of detail.
What I like about it is if you take the Primarch models, the two big guys in the middle, and you put them side by side with like any model from any of the game system, where it's like War Machine or Infinity or you know, Monster Mac, whatever, those models are far superior. Like just from an aesthetic perspective, they're that gorgeous. And so it's like it makes you want to do a good job painting them, because you want to bring them to life. And
I saw there are some people that play in the games where you guys play on Wednesdays, and they have properly painted their people.
No.
You're just
And
like,
It always sucks, when a player has an unpainted army on the table because it doesn't quite hit the same. That's why we work really hard to make sure that our stuff is
And it's a point of pride too. You add all of these legions, they have their own unique paint job, paint scheme.
Me? Oh, good.
Go ahead.
They have their own unique paint job. They have their own unique paint scheme. They have colors that they like and whatever. Well, there is a true mark
Hitting different.
of excellence when you can look at the table and you can say, I did this. This army looks amazing, and this is a product of my own hands. I took the time, the effort, and the pride.
I've walked in on him painting, and he, like on our magnifying glass, he's just like, oh no, there's going to be a little detail.
Absolutely. It takes effort. And
it takes time, which I don't have.
Yeah. And that's...
You definitely do not have.
That's a big part of the hobby side of the hobby. It's that creation, it's that artistic expression. One of the things that I use is, if you look at my dudes kind of closely, I used a automobile color shift paint that I had to thin the absolute dog shit out of to get it to work on these smaller models. And it is a total pain in the ass.
Because the thing is that there's no gospel way to paint your stuff.
Right.
The official story tells you what their colors are, but you can choose how you want to bring them to life. So just my army, I wanted to have a very specific aesthetic, and so my painter who painted all these tanks in big pieces and the big Titan, he painted all that stuff for me, and we worked a lot on like what was the color scheme, what was the aesthetic we were trying to go for. So my planes, I wanted them to look like they were lightning bolts striking out of the sky, and then for the tanks, I want them to just look as scary as imaginable. So he went and like attached all the corpses, and he custom made the flayed skin to kind of make it look like it was terrifying with the red accent on the front. It's all custom done because I wanted to have it come to life my way, and then Kelly did his way, and that's what makes the game so awesome, because it's your stamp, it's your fingerprint, it's your personality, and then the way you pick, because each legion has its own style of fighting, and so it's really cool watching a player fall in love with their favorite legion style of fighting and then lean into it. And so like if you want to really have the most success, you need to play your legion the way the stories would play out.
Yep,
exactly.
And it makes it that much more immersive and enjoyable. And so that's why we end up getting so many spectators. They come in on Wednesdays and they're just like, what is that? And I'm like, come check it out.
Yeah, we absolutely have people that will just show up to watch. And that's pretty regular.
Yeah, it was me. It was me 2 weeks ago.
Now, Alex's style is to run away from danger.
That is a CNN fake news characterization of what I do.
Anytime anything is...
It's called a tactical feint.
Right. It's called a retreat, the long
It's like
retreat,
you're setting
right?
the trap.
No.
You have to go, across the globe of the world to come back out on the other side.
My Legion's thing is that we're dirty fighters and we're sneaky, and so like I don't do the whole honorable.
Cowards. You mean
fighting
cowards?
style.
Coward is the word that you're looking for.
We need to make the fight dirty, and that's when we excel. So that's what we do.
Cowardice.
You think the sneaky Alpha Legion would understand and appreciate,
Right.
what I do, but no, I just get slights.
Speaking of the smack talk that happens at these games too.
I would keep meaning to mention
Absolute artistry in the smack talk.
So we had a new guy last Wednesday join us, and I we all were. It was a 5-man game, so 2 versus 3, and the new guy was on the team with 3, and it was the 4 guys were vets, and so we were in a group chat, and I was like, dude, we got to make sure this guy's a good game because we want him to stick around and buy more stuff
and play more,
paint and yeah, exactly. So we as the opponents, Kelly and I send our list to them saying, hey, look, do you think these lists are something you guys can handle? Because we don't want it to be too tough. Yeah. And they were like, we got it. You're good. I was like, okay, because we were willing to soften our list if they were like, no, dude, you're going to murder us. Because for our particular group, it isn't about winning at all costs. We hate that. It's about a good time. And good times are games where both guys experience all the emotions of a Horus Heresy game, which is impending dread, exhilarating excitement, relief, and utter dismay. I mean, you got to run the gamut of the rainbow of emotions, and like that's why when Kelly and I had our last game, I was like, bring your nastiest, because I want to have a butt pucker game, because when we do a lot of mess around games, they tend to be so fluffy and fun that they really don't get like nail bitingly intense. So Kelly and I had our game, and it was just like,
yeah, that game that I watched you play the last one, I was like, man, that is like you were like right
stops,
there.
Pull the punches,
yes.
just like, go.
There were some intense moments where he's just like, I can't roll the game. He was freaking out. He's like, man, I can't get it back.
Exactly.
Yeah, freaking out.
Went full send on it.
And indeed, also you need to take a drink, Kelly. Not to break up the pot.
I thought I had the word too. I thought I had it.
I think I have Kelly's word.
Yeah.
So that's why I haven't said it again since I got to.
Yeah, I think you might actually. Yeah.
I'm a sneaky devil.
Yours, I thought it was one word, and now I'm second guessing because I was listening.
No,
to what
you're
he
right.
said.
It is one word.
No, I got it. I was saying I'm trying to pick up on it.
Well, knowing your ability to pick up things, I'm not surprised you haven't figured it out.
Right. And you also notice neither one of us has said his word this entire time, right?
Oh, no one said your word?
No.
Do you remember what your word is?
Yeah.
Do you need to check?
No, I know. I'm telling you,
sure?
I
Are
did
you
some great
100%
setups
sure?
for it. Yeah.
You may want to check again just to be safe.
Did you change the word on me?
Anyway, so I didn't finish the story about last Wednesday. So we have our match, and the dude just like it's a good success. Like the guy has a great time, and it's one of those battles where that he got to experience the feeling of getting your shit pushed in, which that's what we call it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. It's not a fun feeling because you're just like, they're all dying, because what's so great is these guys have all this thick armor, so they can take a lot of damage before they die in theory, but it's roll of the dice.
Yeah,
so
that's
even though
what
the
I'm
odds
saying.
may
It's
be
like-
really in your favor, you roll enough dice, you're going to fail.
Right.
And so you can have a stretch where it's like you got to roll 10 dice and you fail all 10. As
there's-
wildly improbable as that may be, that happens.
And then there's like
I don't know what
think
that's
it's-
like.
I think it's
Yeah, right.
fuckery going on, but it's some teams fight better at night, right?
That's right.
And then they're more vicious at night, and then during the day it's kind of like
Well, that would be my legion. Yes,
His legion. They're scared of the daylight. They're terrified of it.
that's weird.
Well, it's because we don't have any color in our skin, so it burns. You see, It
Right.
burns. So we prefer to fight at night.
An entire legion composed of emo kids.
He's got to always rub it in my face. Whatever, it's fine. It's fine. At least we know who we are, unlike the Alpha Legion, who just think they're everybody.
The Alpha Legion, no, we are Alfarius.
Yes, they all think they're the same guy. Talk about having problems. I'd rather be emo than not know who I am. I mean, that should go without saying.
A name is but a tool.
A name is but a tool. You guys sound like you're in the game.
So if you want to get into this game,
Yeah.
go to Games Workshop. That's where Forge World is the primary producer of these particular models, and it's expensive. But if you get one of the starter kits or something, and just find a community, and they're all over the country. I mean, really,
They're all over the world.
Yeah.
We've talked about that. It's a global community. It's a truly global community. This is the most popular war game in the world.
And out of any game that I know, this is the game where you have the greatest likelihood of walking into a shop cold and finding guys who will make sure you have a good time.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
if you play
100%.
the 40K game,
Yeah, you guys.
you got to deal with all kind of ego problems because these dudes they're generally losers in real life. They've never seen a vagina, like that kind of thing, and so this is their out.
Yeah.
Exactly. So they don't care if you have a good time. We know guys like
There's
that,
no crime
and they
in
don't last long in
baseball.
Heresy because we weed them out quick. We're like, okay, well, we're going to give you the nastiest, and we're gonna ruin you until you just quit
we're going to show you why that's a bad idea.
because that's a bad idea.
Just because we play these great games and we tailor our list to be fun and goofy and fluffy, doesn't mean we can't bring the pain.
That's right. And I really like how when a new guy comes in, I'll give him a game and I'll make sure he's got a great time.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
Don't get me wrong, he's going to lose in the end, but he's going to have a great time up until then. That's basically what I offer the new players. It's like I had a guy tell me one time. This was a previous iteration of the group, and we were playing one day, And he was like, Alex, the thing about you is I know I'm going to get beat badly when we go at it, but I always have a good time. And I'm like, that's on purpose, buddy. I want you to enjoy yourself because I want you to play me again, know. And
I want you to come back.
Well, speaking of that new guy, it wasn't even, 10 minutes after that game ended that he approached me and he's like, hey, man, I want to play you again. Yeah, absolutely. That's what this is about. It is all about having a good time,
I think
relaxing.
For me, what I get from it when I come and watch the games is I like to watch the war break down, and then the excitement of when someone comes out and they're like, oh, but you didn't see this coming, and they're like, no, it's those words.
I want to play off of that, but
It's drama.
I think Kelly might need to pour himself another pour because he's got to drink a few times.
How many?
Few 3.
Dos. I mean, yeah.
Uno! Mostly this game is for my enjoyment because I make everybody drink. I'm good at picking words, dude. You're gonna kick yourself when you see my word.
Yeah.
Oh, what? You're gonna be like, dude, that was dirty. And then here's a real treat. Okay, so when we watch this episode back, you're gonna understand everything.
Oh no.
Yeah. You're like, that son of a bitch. Dealing with Kaiser Soze over here.
He's hiding
So
in plain sight.
But, on what you were saying, you came to watch a couple of weeks ago, and I was playing against a guy, and like that was a game where one of my goals was to show to him just how terrible one of my units was, because it was a new release. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try it out. And
that's what he says.
What were they
That's
thinking?
what he
Like,
said.
this unit is horrible. So I bring this unit.
I remember.
And I make a move with them that's very aggressive, but it showcased their full extent of their offensive capability and then their poor defensive capability. And sure enough, they got wiped immediately.
Yep, I remember.
And you're watching, and like, but
it was the first time I seen you lose like that too.
It was actually way worse than I anticipated because I knew I was going to take losses, but man, the dice just were not kind, and so I was just erasing things off the table, and I was like, oh my god. Well,
and your warlord dude was right in that. He was in the mix with them.
Oh man, he was in the mix, and everybody was just getting pounded, and so I just basically just consigned myself to the loss because, hey, you handicap yourself so much. This happens sometimes. Well, you left. We ended up finishing the game, and I ended up winning on points.
But you said by like the skin of your
teeth. It was a very small margin, but it was like, oh my god, I cannot believe. And the reason was because I had more scoring units than he did, and ultimately this game was an objective-based game, and so even though I took severe losses, it did not really compromise my ability to score, and then it ended up going to me on just a couple of points. But that's what's so great about it, because even though my opponent lost, he had a great experience because he got to.
Yeah, it's like you're like watching a drama unfold.
Right. Well,
and there's objectives.
It's like the first 10 rounds of Rocky versus Drago.
We've hit on this before.
Rocky got pummeled, and then he happened to knock him out at the end, but he got pummeled.
We've hit on this before too. It's that like the cinematic experience. Like there is a real, very visceral sense of a story is playing out in front of you. And the best games are the games where you have your plan to start off with, you set up the table, and then you just watch as this magnificent story kind of tells itself in your presence.
Yeah.
Before I tell the next story, take a drink, Kelly. Okay. Now, one of the things about these plans that Kelly's talking about, you don't know my word, John. Stop. Nope, you don't know my word. I guarantee you're not going to know my word. Just don't even try.
I think I know this word, but I've had enough drinks at this point where I'm not really sure I care.
right before we end, I'm going to tell you what your word is.
Well, we're going to have to show, so the audience will find out what the words are.
Yeah.
I'll be very impressed if either of you figure out my word. It's Nikki. Anyway, but you can set up to set traps, and it's there was a guy who was he was one of the more recent acquisitions, and he really was interested in heresy, and so he went and he picked up 2 legions, and he's playing all the time, but he just wasn't getting the success. He wasn't winning games, so we did a lot of team games.
Jay, yeah.
And
Yeah,
super nice guy.
Codename Jay. No, really intelligent guy. He's a marine biologist, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's a doctoral
like
student.
that
So
guy.
he's going to be like the
Incredibly
third
intelligent.
PhD.
Incredibly
Yes.
intelligent person. Really great person overall.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I like that
super
guy.
super fun guy. So. I've been playing with him for a while, and I'm watching his development as he goes from being somebody who like just unwittingly walks into the traps to someone who sees them coming. In our last one-on-one game where we played, I was so impressed that like he got to the point where he could appreciate. He's like, "Oh, I see what you're trying to do," and of course, what he didn't realize was that like I could tell, okay, he sees what I'm trying to do, so I'm going to play off of that. And so like that extra layer of tactical depth, that's what got him.
Yeah.
But he saw what I was trying to do, and he actively tried to like not play into it, but he ended up playing into it by not playing into it because I didn't give him a choice because I'm freaking stupid good like
We've
that.
both been trying to help this guy out, and he is absolutely a pleasure to play with. Like he is always.
We remember we were all outside. We stayed like until like 1 o'clock in the morning just talking.
After the game was over,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. And the guy's an absolute pleasure to play with. And
he's cool guy.
it's been a struggle to try and get him to be truly like good at the game, but he's finally hitting his stride. He's
getting
figuring out
He's getting there.
what he needs to do, how his legions works, what to make his special snowflake abilities, and the things that allow him to really start.
Backhanded compliment.
No. It's not a backhanded compliment. It's not a backhanded compliment. This is
so mean, Kelly. You should take 2
difficult
drinks.
game. No, this is
2
a
drinks,
very
Kelly.
difficult game to begin with. And his progress, it started off very slow and then it became exponential. And I'm really looking forward to playing games with this guy in the future. And I want to see him get good, because the games that I can have with Alex, like Alex and I can play against each other in a way that we can't play against everybody else in our little group. Because we can go at it with no holds barred, put everything on the table, do your absolute worst. No one really else in our meta, in our local group, can really kind of handle that. And the more people that it becomes that knockdown, drag out, like
That's
absolute
the fun
race
part.
to the end. Yes, that's
I like the
so
knockout.
good.
Which is why after our games,
So
before
good.
COVID hit, we would go out to bars. It's
You
5
said 2?
now, actually.
5.
It's 5.
Then I definitely don't have your word.
I do not have his word.
I don't
either.
have your word. I
I love my word!
No, I'm beyond the point of caring. Because,
Here, why don't you go ahead and fill it up because you got 5. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I love my word. Can we get a tally, Mr. Producer, how many times Kelly has had to drink tonight?
Oh no, I'm gonna have to Uber away from here.
Wait, what is that
it's
line
up
you always
there.
say, Kelly? It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan. Yes, absolutely.
And that is another thing we talked about the smack talking. Oh, 5 drinks, please. We're waiting on you. Don't think we're
But
gonna.
you know what? I've taken every single one of these stone face.
Like a champ, I gotta say.
Again, like a pro.
I mean, watching Kelly's face as he takes drinks is actually my favorite thing of the day.
Yeah,
So I'd like to
yeah,
watch
yeah.
it 5 more times, please, sir.
Oh, okay.
And there's one. Notice how his glasses
that
are
was-
sliding further off his nose.
You know what? Screw it.
All right, that's 1. 4 more, please, sir.
Gotta give me a second. I have had quite this. I mean,
Dude, we're like over halfway down this bottle of cask.
right.
Oh my God.
Right. And that's been mostly me drinking it.
Mostly
actually,
Kelly.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's you.
Yeah, it's been mostly me. So
He's on his 3rd glass. Oh my God. Anyway,
You gotta
4 more.
give me a second. Because I'm still trying to be like responsible.
okay,
about
okay.
I want to be able to see.
We have one.
Yes, thank
That
you.
helps.
We have
I
one.
want to be able to see to leave. Like that would be really nice.
Before COVID, though, we would go out to a bar and eat and drink beers and just talk about the game and revel in the fun and exciting moments, because we play games that are so big that you will have multiple thematic things happening. So you have a big duel over here, you have a big gunfight where like one of your units just gets stuck in combat for like 3 turns, duking it out, and like something crazy happens. So even though you may lose the game, you're going to have small victories throughout that you're going to talk about.
Yep.
Moral victories, just epic moments, like things that stick with you, that stick in your memory. The game that you and I played, I think it was not this past week, but the week before.
Right.
That the no holds barred game. we had so many moments in there. It was down to the wire. I think
We're like one die roll.
right. It
And then
literally
our
came
game
down to
was
that.
so nail-bitingly close, it all came down to his Primarch Alfarius dying.
Yeah,
That's why he lost.
That's literally what lost me the game.
And those are the games that, unless you
when
go
I
see
tell you-
one, you're not going to understand what I'm talking
one
about.
more, so you're back up to 5.
When I tell you, it came down to the very last roll of the dice to keep my Primarch
We may
alive.
have our first gentleman and a scholar's like death on the
Don't kill him,
on the
dude.
show. Kelly's like, I want to be back. And I'm like, well, you have to survive this one first.
I have no fear of death.
Okay, all right. So 5
It's just
more.
going to sleep.
Right. I'm going to sleep very well tonight.
Yeah.
All right, there's 1. Now he owes 4 more. He better not even talk until he finishes. He keeps adding to his debt. It's ridiculous. Every time he talks, he's like, I got more. Oh my god. This like. But this is how I Warhammer. I get in your head. I totally
That's why
get in your
I
head.
have to just meet out the drinks because at this point, I'm legitimately having to take an Uber home because I'm
We're responsible here. We don't.
Right, absolutely.
That's right, that's right.
Age. Yeah.
absolutely no. We here at Gentleman and Scholar, like everything's on the up and up.
Yep.
I think you should just take a nap on the sofa in the front area. That'd be really
Yeah.
cool for the decor. People come like, there is a Boogaloo boy sleeping on the sofa.
Do you see a shirt?
Hey! I'll take Boogaloo Boy. Just don't call me a Proud Boy again. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. I am not part of that group. No.
See, I tried to be a proud boy, but they're like, not with that mustache. You're a man.
Well,
Proud man.
here's the thing. Like, I looked into these guys, right? Because with my background, I try and stay, aware of everything that's going on right now. And the Proud Boys came on my radar, and started like, what are they into? What do they really stand for, right? And it was one of these groups that when they first formed, they actually stood for something good, and over time it's been corrupted.
Everything
and
gets
it's
corrupted.
yeah, exactly. It was one of these things that's like, yeah, they stood for they called it Western chauvinism, and that was legitimately just to trigger people.
It was a troll. They started as a troll.
Yeah, it started off as a joke. It was 100% a joke. You can look at, I forget the name of the founder.
Gavin McInnes.
Yeah, thank you. I've had a lot of Maker's Mark. So,
My fault.
So-
sorry about that.
you can look at interviews with the guy that started this, and he was just like, yeah, it was
just taking the piss. That was the whole
It
thing.
was totally a joke at first. I said, to reach this level, you had to do this thing, and then to reach this level, you had to get a tattoo. And, I didn't mean any of it. And it has taken on this, like,
They really took
world.
off once Antifa was like, we're going to fight you guys.
Right. Now, what's really funny is
Antifa.
All you need is a bunch of drunk rednecks to be like, wait, fight? We're down.
I love watching the Antifa versus Proud Boy fights because
Oh
I don't.
my god!
I don't.
And the
care
media
who
edits them
wins.
so that it looks like the Proud Boys are starting. Like, no, they
I
finish
don't-
it.
Here's the thing. I
Because you have a
don't
bunch of
care
soy
who
boys
wins.
fighting red meat, women chasing American men.
Yep.
And like there was this,
Because okay, so I'm very much anti-Antifa. I don't believe in what they say, whatever. But in the same vein,
that's anti-squared fuck.
I can't bring myself to really support the Proud Boys either, right? So, I'm watching these videos of these guys fight, and I'm like, I don't care who wins. This is entertaining. Oh no.
You meted about enough. So you still owe me 4.
Okay.
We're doing a payment plan, working installments.
Right.
It's like one of my clients. She's like, I want to divorce my husband, I want to take all the kids away, and I want to get him supervised visitation. But like, can I just pay you guys
I
like
see these
$500?
videos and I see these guys fighting, and I genuinely don't give a shit who wins, but watching the fights are just so entertaining to me.
Oh, it's hysterical.
Right?
There was like that
Right.
one girl from Portland, the Antifa girl, who like hit a guy.
They call her Moldilocks.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And then the guy
Right.
was like, "How about this?" And he hits her back and just like drops her like
Here's
a
the
sack
thing,
of potatoes.
like, the Proud Boys unequivocally know what they're doing when it comes to fighting, right? Antifa does not, and that's why it's funny. It's basically child abuse, but it's
hilarious.
funny
Pass
child
that torch
abuse.
over here. So
Yeah, I'm
we're
gonna do
in
that as
our
well.
final third. So what do we want to give on our last impressions for this beautiful stick? I can't say enough good stuff about the Maximus.
It hits every note, and it stays strong throughout all the thirds. So it's money well spent.
And the funny thing is
I
that
am no longer a reliable witness in this instance.
I'm sorry, I abused Kelly.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm having a great time.
The crazy
having a
thing
great
is,
time.
this isn't even a drop in the bucket from
What we did
last night.
I think
It's
that's
not-
what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's just compounding upon itself,
yeah,
right?
because it's not even a drop in the finished bottles.
Right.
Y'all are crazy.
And that's on top of the beer we were also
exactly.
drinking.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
So I think that's really what this is. It's not that, oh, look, I got drunk off of just a little bit of Maker's Mark. No. I think this is the...
3 more, please, sir.
Hold on.
and you can compound another one because you said my word.
Oh, I wasn't even listening to what he was saying. Damn.
First use of your word.
Oh man, John's all excited. He popped his cherry. Woo, go John!
I think this is just like, last night
Yep.
plus right now, and it's finally
Poor
really
Kelly.
hitting me, right?
Oh my God, this poor guy.
Oh, no, I'm not complaining.
But okay. So here's one thing I want to point out: that when you look at like the the higher echelon, the gold standard of New World cigars, most people will say the Padron 1926 line is like the best because it's.
I'm on that wagon.
I mean, it's hard.
It's really good.
It's hard to argue
It's-
against it.
it's absolutely
But what's
really
interesting
good.
is that you really like everybody wants to post pictures of them smoking a 1926 because this would be like, look guys, I'm initiated. I smoke the best cigars.
Yep.
And everybody, it's like an unspoken code, like in Fight Club. If somebody posts a picture, you give them the nod. You're like, yes sir, that's
it.
that is it. Because I'm not gonna knock you for trying to get some credit for smoking the best stick outside of Cuba. So like we all give praise, and then every now and then somebody's like, I don't think that's just. And we're like, shut up, loser, go away, and then they just kind of like drown out. Or I say something mean like, hey, way to out yourself for not having any class. Like, okay.
Right.
But you don't ever see people taking pictures of them smoking a Maximus. You just don't see it. When people talk about like the
say
show-off
this.
cigars, no one ever does a
I
Maximus.
will say this, even in the, I'm going to say altered mental state, which I have ascended to, right? Maximus has consistently had that nice, full flavor. I'm in the final third of mine right now. And, the chocolate is still there, the leather is still there. There's a little bit of spice now. I'm definitely picking up
There is a little
notes in the
spice.
final thirds
Yeah.
that there is a spice to it.
That's that finish, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And it is absolutely like top tier. I would 100% rate this among, and I do smoke a lot of Cubans.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah.
He's got a phone case, everybody. But he puts
Right.
his
Oh,
bands
I do,
on the
I
back.
do.
Show it for the camera, Kelly. Show
I
the good
will.
people
I
your
will.
project. And I can attest that almost all of those are from authentic Cubans because he got them from us.
There's one that is not. There's one that is fake. That's this one right there.
Oh, yeah, because it's got the dimples with the pimples.
Right.
That's how you know, fellas. It's got the dimples, not the pimples.
And I'm actually going to improve on this and start weaving everything together. But this is right up there in the same category with Cubans, and for a non-Cuban stick, that's really hard to attain.
Oh, it's top marks.
That's
I love the
100%.
Maximus.
I cannot. And again, like I came in here and I was trying to troll you guys, and I was saying like, oh yeah, let's go with acid Cuba Cubas, but no, this is 100% the right call.
No, I was excited as soon as I was like, dude, we're going to smoke a Maximus.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Fantastico. All right, so
Even when you're inebriated.
should we give our
Especially when you're inebriated.
should we give our reviews? John.
Yeah. So mine, I'm just gonna keep running through this. It's chocolate, cocoa, hay mixed with a spicy finish going towards the end. It's every bit of worth $28. I would recommend this to anybody who's a real
It's
cigar.
a special occasion.
It is.
cigar.
This is not a
special
daily
occasion.
smoker.
This is not a get home from work and crack yourself.
You're not.
No.
This
Well,
has to be a special
I
occasion.
mean, if you can afford it, by all means, make it your daily smoke.
if you
Yeah.
can, you're gonna.
If you can.
Well, like
yes,
the owner
100%.
here, Jamie, his daily smoke is the Julius Caesar.
That's crazy.
I mean, that's
Because the Maximus, he says it's too much.
It's too much.
And
Right.
it is,
Yeah.
and I totally agree with that. The Julius Caesar, that would be an amazing daily smoke. I've got one in my humidor, and I'm like, I don't know. but I'm a hoarder.
That's like
you know,
that's like that Monte Cristo Grand Reserva that I have in your humidor right now. Like that. Oof.
if it's still there.
Oh no, I will fight you. I will fight you.
That is such a scary thought of that shirt touching me. Oh no! He left a boog on me. A boogaloo. Terrible. All right, anyway, John, continue. I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
So, my final thought is if you don't have this in your humidor, you're not a real cigar guy. You have to at least try this once.
Well said. Well said.
So, if I'm going to give it a rating,
Yes.
oh, it's definitely a 95.
95.
And that's strong.
He does not give out 95s often. No.
Even hungover the next day, this is every bit of
Well, how many Maximus have we smoked together?
3 total.
Three total. Every time I give this dude a Maximus, he gets giddy.
Yeah.
And when he smokes it, he makes that face where I'm like, I appreciate that you show me that face, that you're comfortable enough with me to show me that face, but let's make sure no one else is watching, because that's a little bit vulnerable, you know, John? But he makes the face, and that's why I keep giving it to him, because I
If
love
you've ever seen Tinkerbell, I do that dance.
And that's why Alex calls John Daddy.
And it's just the best. I always love to give him the Max when he's wearing shorts, because then I get to see the full display of the Tinkerbell dance on his legs.
The non-KF heaven.
And it's like, did you have rickets? I'm sorry. I'd love you to post a picture of those gams for the viewers public, John.
No, I'm wearing shorts. That's why I keep screwing
I say post it right here.
Absolutely
Right
have to do it. You absolutely have to do it.
I'm not doing it right now.
Oh my
balls.
God.
No balls.
No. I'm too hungover to do anything stupid right now.
Oh no! This you're gonna have to do this in editing. So, for those of you who are not familiar with military etiquette, when 2 soldiers are together and one soldier makes a dose, but when 2 soldiers are together and one soldier says something and the other one says no balls, they are legally obligated to do it. So now you have to post a picture and
Oh no, it'll be in there. It'll be in there.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, you're right.
Speaking of docking, I have to throw this out there because this was such an amazing story. During the game that we were playing last night, Do or Drink, one of the cards that I pulled said, "Call a relative and explain to them what docking is." And I was like, crap. You know, so I immediately, the lawyer in me was like, let me find a loophole. So I called my son. Because I was like,
No,
Connor,
you didn't.
I did.
No. Connor, I believe it.
I figured Connor would already know. Lindsay was like, call Connor. He's the best person. So I called him.
it.
Motherfucker had his phone off. So I went straight to voicemail. I was like, that bastard. So then I called Calvin, my other son. He sent me the voicemail. I was like, dude, you made me call my mom. Like, I'm running out of relatives here that I can call. So then I call my sister, Angelina, who is she's a classics teacher. And she's married to a poet out in South Carolina.
Hey,
so
I'm a published poet.
I don't have anything else to do, so I call her up.
He said I'm a poet.
And it goes to voicemail. So I'm like, thank God I dodged this bullet. I'm just gonna drink because I'm not calling my parents to explain docking. I just know I'm a post at multiple levels. So I get up, I hang up the phone, and it goes to voicemail, and I'm telling them I'm gonna drink. She calls me. So I'm like, they're like, tell her. I'm like, no, my God. So I get on the phone. I'm like, hey, Angelina, what you doing? And she's like, nothing. We're just hanging out. And I was like, well, I am playing a game that has instructed me that it is of the utmost imperative that I explain to you the maneuver called docking. Do you know what docking is? It's just like, no. And I have her on speakerphone, so like everybody's listening. And I explain in detail what docking is. And I look on Urban Wikipedia. I'm not going to tell you on here. It's not good. Anyway,
I still don't understand how you can do that. It still freaks me out.
okay, we're not going to.
Yeah, I'm not going to
go to porn.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna touch it. You'll figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, that's just,
There's a whole genre of docking. Just go look it up.
that's just gross. Like, I know what it is. I don't
he
see
says that, but you know he has that like the secret folder right on his
I'm an open
computer.
So it turns out my sister was also hammered, and so she laughed about it. It was great fun, and my friends were like, Oh my God, your sister's just like you because like she used big words too. Everything was really fun. I was like, yeah, well, we're both Spurgs, so that's kind of how that happens. She went into the literary arts. I went into science, and so she's like a super big wig with literature, and just like I'm a super big wig with nerdery. And so we did that. That was awesome. But Kelly, you need to give us your review of this of the beast that is Maximus.
Oh yeah, we're running long, huh? Oh, yeah.
So and
that's not a problem.
Yeah. It runs what it runs, right?
Yep. It's this whole smoke.
Oof. Words are important right now.
I feel bad that I got Kelly shit-faced.
No,
Kelly still needs a drink.
He still owes me 3 drinks.
I still owe you 3 drinks.
And me one.
And John won. That's right.
Oh,
we're going to carry Kelly to the Uber.
I am not complaining. Yes, I will need to be carried to the Uber. But,
he's like, mind the balls.
I've said it before in this podcast. This is right up there with, a lot of good Cubans. I would put this up with the new, oh man, I forget the words right now. Again, like Alcohol Buzz.
That was me this morning.
The Trinidad ones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's right up there with...
It's way stronger than a Trinidad. Those Trinidadads are like succulent. They're mellow, but they're just creamy.
I'm talking about sheer quality.
Okay.
Quality of the smoke,
because as far as
like flavor, it's right up there with like a Havana Trinidad.
This is more stout than a 1926.
Yeah, 100%.
yes.
The 26 is stout, but it's real smooth.
100%.
This is a little bit harsher.
Yeah, it's a little harsher, but easily, I'm gonna go ahead and agree with John. Like, this is easily a 95. Easily a 95.
Way to punt. Good job.
I think it is.
No. Look, okay, so I'll give mine.
Tell me I'm wrong though.
This is.
Tell me I'm wrong though.
So I try to smoke as many Cigar of the Year winners as I can, and this hangs within like the Asian Room Quattro that we featured with John.
Yep.
That was an amazing smoke, but that tasted like a full dessert. It was doing things like this is just like taking your what do they call it, the modulator for your Wi-Fi, the tuners, where it like just turns them all up to 11. So it's just like everything is going full blast. The Aging Room is more nuanced in what it does, and so it gives me more to focus on. But this is just like, if you're going to drink whiskey and play cards and get tore up, this is what you smoke. This is every bit that KO of the night.
100%. Yeah.
This is not one where you're like, I'm going to smoke this with my morning coffee and go to work. No, I would.
No.
There are some guys who do that, but I would not recommend that. So it is on the pricey side, but the ash, the burn, the consistency, the progression, I would make this a 96. I would. I give it my highest recommendation.
That's absolutely fair. Fair.
It's a superlative smoke. It's top notch. And everybody needs to try one. Like you said, I think that if you fancy yourself a collector, a fan of cigars, you have to have one of these in your box.
Yes.
Yeah. If you're an aficionado, like, this is an experience.
And you haven't had this here. Something's wrong with you.
Because the thing is, like, anybody can just go online and see, like, if I want to peacock to people and show off, I put a 1926 in my box. Everybody's gonna know. But the Maximus is one of those, like, off the beaten path sticks where it's not as heavily publicized, but if you see somebody with it, you're like, this guy knows what's up. This guy knows what's up.
Is there a shortage of those 1926s right now? Weren't you saying something about that last time?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like a huge...
Well, the pandemic made most of the factories run at a limited capacity, and so they're just not able to meet the demand. So Padron's like 3 months behind.
My go-to stick, the Rocky Patel winners, were hard to get for a little bit.
They went up there. They're back, and I was thinking we may feature that on this show, but we ended up not. We went with the Maximus, which I'm happy with. This is a fantastic stick.
Again, like the Rocky Patel winner, like, that's my go-to, right? So when you guys had me on the show and you guys were like, "Hey, pick a stick," I didn't want to go to something that I knew was going to be solid. I wanted to get a little bit adventurous, go with something that I hadn't really had too many of before.
But that's always the best for the show, because someone's having their new experience. And if we smoked the winner, we've all had the winner, we all love the winner, and so it'd just be like, here's awesome coming, and it's awesome, So this is
right. There's no surprise in that. There's no real like experience to that, because again, like, the winner is really. You commented earlier before the show started that the winner is probably Rocky Patel's best stick.
Arguably, yes.
I mean, I'd agree with that. You know, when I can't tell you how much I enjoy the Winners. Like, that is my go-to non-Cuban stick.
All right, fellas. My glass is empty. My cigar is out. I think it's time we get to the good stuff, and then we close the show out.
Okay.
All right. So, John's word, I have no idea what it is because I never said
It only
it.
came up once.
And so I don't have any guesses. So
Yeah,
the
I got
floor is
nothing.
yours. What do you got?
It's drunk.
Drunk.
Drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, I am that.
Very nice, very nice. Well, I said Kelly's word twice, I believe.
Yeah, what do you think it is?
I thought it was group.
No. Space Marine.
Space Marine. Oh.
I figured that would be a really safe one, given that we were talking about the Heresy and Warhammer and
Very
everything
good. So
else.
do you guys have any inklings of what my word is?
I thought it was a story.
I thought it was full at one point in time.
Okay. It is play.
Play. Oh
My God. I knew it was something like that. Like it was in that because I kept listening to what you were saying, and then I was like, oh. Every time he said story, but story was in the play, and the story played the storyline or whatever, and I was like, it's got to be story.
no.
It wasn't.
I know. So come check us out for the live show.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. We're going to have a ton of laughs. We're going to play the drinking game, and I'm probably going to have some other little surprises. We are having a giveaway.
And we are having a giveaway.
Tell everybody about the giveaway we're having.
We are going to have humidors with cigars stacked to the brim just for you guys.
That's right. All you have to do is subscribe to the show and participate in the live show, and that will enter you into the raffle, and we will pick a winner either during the show or shortly thereafter, where we announce who is going to get it, and we will contact that person and get their shipping address, and we will send them a Gentleman and the Scholar humidor with some sticks. I believe the sticks are some El Rojos from Costa Rica.
Yes.
So if you're trying to build your collection, these are going to make some fine additions. They're Costa Rican. They're different.
Yep.
They have a nice rich cherry flavor, and they burn well. So I mean, they're quality sticks. They're not a $28 Maximus, but if you're building your collection, they're a good stick to have. A lot of guys like them.
Put it
so
in.
That'll be awesome.
I mean, I'm going to try and participate.
Subscribe to the show.
Yeah. Do
Share
that.
this episode, and
With that being said,
Share
I'm
comment.
John Welsh, and I'm the Gentleman.
and I'm Alex Stanford, and I'm the Scholar, and this is Drunk.
And keep in mind, if you use the hashtag cancel Gentleman and a Scholar, I'm going to come back, and every single one of us is going to be wearing one of these Hawaiian shirts.
Nice.
Or you could just keep it smoky.
Always.